Hey, don't judge my
No,
coffee.
I like the vibe it gives. It's like just casually dudes just chilling in the living room waiting on coffee.
Well, I mean, we gotta wait on coffee, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, don't judge my coffee. I gotta have my coffee.
Honestly, I just think the smell just makes everything anything better. Just
I was so close to buying a bar of soap for Miss Nikki.
Oh, dude, like her soaps are like one of the fucking best, bro. Like, or actually, no, it's the best in the area. Alright.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Welcome back to the Hebert Zone, everybody. This is episode 5 of the Hebert Zone podcast. Today's topic, evolution of horror films. We have the recurring guest star, Jacob.
Hello.
And a good friend of ours, the first time on the podcast, Michael. I invited Michael because he is like one of the greatest minds when it comes to horror that I've ever like sat down and talked with. Like,
oh, that's.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Like you and me, we understand horror in general. Like, shout out to his channel, which I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names.
It's just my regular name.
It's just yeah. Michael Rodriguez is his channel. He makes short film horror, like short horror films. Really good. Really, really good. Matter of fact, I'm hoping one day me and him collide with each other on some projects.
Yep, it's coming up.
It's coming up. All right, so let's start with horror with the classic movie monsters.
Ooh.
I mean, like, you know, we had like Dracula, Frankenstein's Monster, Wolfman, Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Then extends out to that too. Then you have like Bride of Dracula. Isn't there like a
Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's multiple Draculas, like who's like Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, yeah.
Like
Son of Dracula.
Son of Dracula, yes. Like there's like so many of it that I mean we don't know which one's the real Dracula at this point anymore.
But did Nosferatu come before the movie Monsters or during that time? I can't remember.
I think it was during that time. I get that confused too. Like I don't really fully understand like if it was that was the first or if Dracula was the real first. Between the two.
I'm pretty sure Dracula was the first because Dracula is based off of an actual person.
Yeah, because of Vlad the Impaler.
Yes. So I believe he's European mythology, right?
I believe
He's European
so.
mythology.
I'm not
I
into.
think so. Yeah.
Because that's where Vlad the Impaler came from.
Yeah, but still, like
told stories of the great Dracula, who was the vampire king. Because of him, vampires existed.
Yeah.
He didn't even mean to. He practically invented vampires.
Yeah. Like
the history behind all that is just like.
This motherfucker ran around drinking people's bloods and out of their heads.
He would like put them on a spike, like 10-foot tall fucking spikes, and let them like slowly slide down. And whenever, like maybe every other day, he would go over there and get like a fucking bowl of their blood, and he would just dip his bread in that.
That's some cannibal holocaust shit.
That is some fucking. But like
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
This motherfucker loved his nutrients. He loved his iron.
But like no, like classic black and white films. Like if you were like say if we were back at that time, we would have the shit scared out of us because we don't know whether or not this shit is real.
Like Vlad the Impaler was like a little bit before the Black Plague. I'm not so sure about that.
I'm a little hazy on that myself.
I'm pretty sure he came before the Black Plague, but not so before.
Yeah.
Right after him, the Black Plague was just hey.
Well, I know that, but you had Dracula. You had Dracula, then you had Frankenstein's Monster. Which in itself was like a crazy fucked up idea, but it worked.
It was based off of an actual idea of this dude who actually tried to do it.
Yeah.
He tried to bring a person back to life.
Yeah, and it was like all these were based on books.
And during this time, this motherfucker was bringing a bunch of tension to the people, and these dudes thought he was like doing the devil's work, so they killed him for it.
Yeah, but hang on a second.
I don't know the full story on it though.
Did I accidentally fucking?
Are we muted?
I think we're muted. Oh no, we're not muted. There we go.
Oh.
This thing kind of got twisted back a little bit.
Oh.
You know, a lot of people don't know that at all.
It's weird. I know my shit on monsters. I don't know my shit on. I don't know that much on horror movies, but I know the shit on Frankenstein's Monster, Dracula. Werewolves came from a very bad outbreak of this certain type of bread that these people were eating, and it was so moldy and so diseased because they weren't really looking after on where the bread was coming from and where it was being produced, that it caused them to hallucinate. And then regular wolves showed up and was trying to steal their cattle and shit, and they saw them as werewolves.
I've never actually heard of that.
That's where the werewolf first began. That's where the first werewolf ever was created. I can't remember where, though. It was either in North America. No, not North America. It's either in Central America or in in Europe.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
What do you call it? But like, yeah, Frankenstein Monster. Like, come on. Imagine if someone tried to do that today.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they could get away with it because I'm not sure if it was a Russian experiment, but there was an experiment where they brought the head of a monkey back to life. Like they're these dudes. It's super old. This was like before World War II and shit. It's like these old documentaries that you can find. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's you can find them. There's little videos. These dudes managed to bring a monkey's head back to life for like 24 hours before the head before the brain cells finally gave out and just stopped existing.
Yeah.
It was insane because they had it attached to this huge machine and wires going to the blood. They were streaming blood to the brain and shit. And this monkey was just like confused as all hell. It's like, I'm alive. It's like, I'm fucking sorry.
So it's just like a scientific it's like a scientific version of necromancy.
Yeah.
And also,
Or maybe like a reanimator.
there was this dog. There was this dog that this scientist had that he really loved this fucking dog, and this dog ended up passing away of old age. Or no, I think it had cancer or something. So what he did was he found a regular dog that most recently died, cut its head off, and put his dog's head on that dog, and did some shit, and it came back to life, and it stayed alive for 2 weeks before it finally gave out.
Fucking Frankenweenie.
Yeah, he literally fucking Frankenweenie that shit.
Oh,
It's
man.
insane. These people have done such insane shit with their stuff, and because of that, it made a bunch of crazy ass stories like all the SCPs or the creepypastas and all the other monsters that are out there.
I believe there's an X-Files movie out there that has that theme too.
Mhm.
It's called X-Files I Want to Believe.
Mhm.
And that the theme in that.
I haven't watched it. I have heard of it.
X-Files, right?
I have heard of it.
So
Yeah.
there's a film, I believe it's a sequel to the very first one that came out way in the early 2000s. There's a sequel to the X-Files called I Want to Believe, and that is the theme, and that is what the two FBI agents are investigating and finding out, that there is this crazy like doctor in another country where they're at, and they're finding different human pieces in different places and different times, and then when they get to the actual location, sorry, it's a spoiler.
That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
So that's practically the thing. They find a lab, and they're like seeing like chicken heads stitched and attached to different parts, and he's condensing human body parts with animals and putting them together and separate and putting and mixing it all.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But like, no, that's actually really like, that's still fucked up. That's still fucked up.
This dude's trying to make an actual fucking chimera.
It's weird.
Jesus, dude. But fuck. What else have they done with monsters and why monsters existed? Fuck.
Because we were on the subject of Frankenstein.
Yeah, and we're basically on the subject of taking stuff apart and putting it onto something.
Sorry.
And there's another movie too. It's called Dr. Gore. That came in the 19.
I have not heard of that.
Called Dr. Gore, and it goes by another name. Can't think of it right now, but it's either came out in the late 60s and the early 70s, and it's switched. There's a guy who hypnotizes women, publicly, and he does it. He goes out in public and he hypnotizes women, and he brings them back to seduce them, intoxicate them, and then chop them up.
Mhm.
And then he wants to make the perfect woman.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, so it's called Dr. Gore. It came out. It's actually
Isn't it
very
crazy to
disturbing.
think that maybe people like that actually existed? Like, you had the fucking witch trials, right? Like, they went completely fucking bonkers. Oh, just because a woman was able to swim. Like, that was one of the basic things. If a woman could swim, she's a witch.
anything that can do. Yeah, basically, like, I think it's like a battle or a versus between the whole sexist thing.
Mhm.
Like, oh, if a woman can do
That's
this.
how the whole witch trials came. If a woman was left-handed, she was a witch.
Yeah.
Like, during that whole witch trials, it was a fucking massacre. People were getting killed left and right just because they were witches. When they were not witches, they were just different, or they knew a skill that was way better than you. If a woman was really good in the eyes of the laws and could get away with a bunch of shit and was actually super very intelligent, she would be considered a witch.
Yeah.
Like, a woman today, back then in the witch trials, would be a fucking witch.
Yeah.
They were just killed on the spot. And it's weird because they had a weird way of telling on who's a witch and who was not. One was the drowning thing. They would tie rocks to her leg and drop her in a river, and if she dies, then she wasn't a witch. If she survives, she's a witch. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That just dumb.
Creepy shit like that it shows on how horror itself exists, because there are a lot of dark, really fucked up minds of humanity out there. Like the Great Crusade. Holy shit. In the name of God, we will slaughter your house. Jesus Christ.
Oh, gee, no, dude.
It was a giant mass. That is the biggest, like, besides the Black Plague, because the Black Plague literally wiped out more than half of humanity.
Yeah.
More than half of the population of humanity. Besides the Black Plague, that is one of the biggest causes of death ever. That thing has killed more people than not the flu. The flu killed a lot of fucking people. That people have killed a lot. They've killed a lot more people, almost more than mosquitoes.
Yeah.
They're almost like right there.
And hell, mosquitoes in themselves, they would fuck us over. If
Mosquitoes
we
is
were
the
zombie
number one
apocalypse.
mosquitoes is the number one cause of death animal wise.
Like straight up, like, oh.
It's weird because we could live without mosquitoes too, but people are like, like they're birds' nutrients and shit. There's other fucking insects out there.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck those bloodsuckers.
Get rid of them. Fuck. That's why I want bats. Fucking bats. One bat can eat about over 2,000 in one sitting. That's like their lunch is 2,000 bats.
Let's just hope someone
I mean,
doesn't fucking
mosquitoes.
eat them. Anyway,
But yeah, I can't remember how bats came into horror as well. Now on the subject of bats
Well,
and shit with monsters.
well, people like kept thinking that, you know, like Dracula.
They tied them into, because of the vampire bat.
Yeah, but in all
They had
honesty,
him on strings and shit.
Yeah. Oh man, but like,
Look at my babies.
still the we gotta give respect for the classic horror movie monsters.
Oh, fuck
We
yeah.
gotta give them respect.
If we didn't have Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the werewolf, Frankenstein, we wouldn't have zombies and
we
other crazy contraptions.
we wouldn't have
monsters.
zombies. We wouldn't have like crazy psychopaths risen.
Yeah,
back
we
from the
wouldn't
dead
have
that kills you with a
Leatherface.
giant machete.
We wouldn't have Leatherface. We wouldn't have Jason. We wouldn't have
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. We
any
would
of
probably have something completely different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'd probably be dealing with more of the fucking supernatural side of it because they kind of fall into the supernatural.
Mhm.
Like Invisible Man, he kind of falls underneath the science fiction kind of stuff.
That was
Yeah.
my favorite.
And okay, the original Invisible Man, fucking beautiful, fucking perfect.
Do you know what I find funny on what people keep trying to bring into horror movies, like monster-wise?
What's
Fucking Bigfoot. Every Bigfoot movie I've ever watched horror-wise just completely fucking sucks, except for that one new show, which is like the state. I think it's like called The State of Horror.
Never
It's
heard
like
it.
it's like all of America. They take all of America, right? In every state that they have, there's always a story. It's kind of like it's almost like Goosebumps, but well executed.
Okay.
It's so good. One of the episodes is actually a Bigfoot. It's actually a Sasquatch, and it's actually pretty fucking.
Fucking Sam Squanch.
The fucking Sam Squanch is actually pretty fucking terrifying.
But no, like there is this one Bigfoot film that I watched. It was fucking garbage. It was like
Every
horrible.
Bigfoot movie, a horror movie that I have watched has been
here's the thing.
god awful.
The way they tied it, it was fucking garbage. It was a found footage film, which, honestly, I love yet hate found footage films. I love the creativity behind it.
Yeah.
But I hate how fucking easy they can be made.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's a fucking script that I have that is a found footage film just to prove my point.
Mm.
And I told you the story.
Yeah.
But, like, this one, it was taking place, like, it was in the woods, yada, 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 you know, a bunch of people, like, camping and everything. Mm-hmm. And they keep getting attacked by this big, smelly monster, which later ends up being Bigfoot. But the fucking...
Bastard smells like shit.
But the twist ending was suggesting that Bigfoot are fucking aliens. Because
oh god!
Because not only were they like the Bigfoots were like attacking the fucking house, all of a sudden big beams of light come out of nowhere and they get sucked up there. But
What's it called?
I can't remember the name of it for the life.
Sam Squanch is a fucking alien.
If I find the name of it, I will let you know.
Mm.
But like it was garbage. Like absolutely.
If there ever was going to be a Sasquatch, if Sasquatch actually was real, the closest relative or the closest assessment that we can even put it to is Gigantopithecus, which is a giant fucking ape. It's the biggest ape that ever lived.
Yeah.
But that thing's like, first off, that thing was in Asia, not America.
Yeah.
And secondly, their anatomy was wrong. Gigantopithecus was closely more to an orangutan than a fucking human.
Yeah.
So I think that shit was just either a really hairy man or a dude in a fucking suit.
But either way, we still haven't actually properly fucking found an actual Bigfoot and actually captured anything, but we found
because
it
is possible. It could be
footprints,
possible that this motherfucker could have been a really good fucking hider, because there are people, a lot of scientists, a lot of animal experts find new animal species all the fucking time. Like I think it was like not even 2 years ago we just found a ghost shark, which is a shark that lives in the really deep, dark parts of the ocean. They call it the ghost shark because you can literally see its bones, its intestines. It's a see-through shark. It's fucking insane, and it's like yay big. It's not even a big one. It's not even a big shark.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, it could be possible that there could be a fucking Sam Squanch just running around.
Why do y'all call it that? What is
Fucking Trailer Park Boys.
There's a TV show called Trailer Park Boys, and there's a character named Bubbles. He kind of doesn't say things right, and he calls Sasquatches Sam Squanch.
And instead of saying fucking, he says fucking. Listen here, you motherfucker.
Like he has like the lip like. And he has like freaking.
He has big ass bubble
glasses.
glasses that make his eyes like ridiculously big.
What's it called?
Trailer Park Boys. It's fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's dumb. It's stupid.
I know, goddamn fucking change quick when I see one, Ricky.
For one, but like it's on Netflix. It's absolutely hilarious. Like first couple seasons are amazing, but whenever Netflix got the rights, it kind of
Oh god, yeah.
It kind of went down, but I'll still watch it because I found it
It's still
hilarious.
funny. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
But like no, like fucking.
What's that one fear where you're afraid of animatronics?
Oh,
What's the fear called?
Fuck. I have no idea. Well, you have a phone, Google it.
Yeah, let me Google it.
But like no, Bigfoot, hide and seek champion since the beginning of time. But like no, like that movie was absolute fucking garbage. And then I watched like other found footage. There's some found footage horror films that are amazing. Like for instance, The Fourth Kind. That one.
Automatonophobia.
What?
Automatonophobia.
What's the fear of snake? What's the phobia called for snakes?
She's just afraid of snakes. Oh, wait, I know. A little bitch.
Fuck you.
Snakes are not scary.
Yes, they fucking are.
They're cute little...
Motherfucker.
Okay. Yeah, but if you get bit by a dog, I bet you the dog fuck you up more than the snake.
The dog did... A fucking dog did bite me. It grabbed on my fucking nose, and when I pulled it up, I pulled it up.
Well, then how come your nose isn't fucked up,
Because
dumbass?
it was a tiny dog. I was 5.
I'm not talking. A Chihuahua does not count as a fucking
It wasn't
dog.
a Chihuahua.
What was it?
I have no idea.
A Pomeranian?
Bigger than a Pomeranian.
A Corgi?
Bigger than a Corgi.
A Pug?
Close to a pug. But
Still doesn't count as a dog. Those are counted as meatballs. A Chihuahua is a fucking rat.
yes, they fucking are. But still, like, no, okay, but we're getting off track here.
But yeah, automatonophobia is the fear of animatronics, right?
Yeah.
Do you know it's not really exactly horror, it's like a monster sci-fi horror. Lake Placid. Do you remember watching that movie?
I remember watching
The Giant Crocodile?
Yeah.
That thing's still out there. These dudes made this 40-foot animatronic crocodile that looks so goddamn real. And they had the highest... They spent more money on making this crocodile than they did on making the movie itself. It's so... They spent so much money into this thing actually fucking swam by itself. When you see it in the movie where it's going to the helicopter or swimming in general, swimming up, nobody's controlling it. Nobody's doing anything. It's legitimately swimming by itself. And it is terrifying. And the thing is still there in a trailer. They just got in a trailer up in Hollywood Studios. And it was waterproof. It was everything. And there was a bunch of fucking accidents that this dude got really badly injured because one of the engines went low. And so it fucking just... The mouth shut on this dude's leg and just fucking drag his ass underwater. And they had to dive down and grab him and pull him out.
Ooh,
This dude almost died by a 40-foot animatronic crocodile. That is terrifying. I know that's like a fear or phobia for people who are afraid of animatronics, but Jesus Christ, that is terrifying. And it's still there. They still have it. They haven't deconstructed it because it's like to this day, I think it's like the third most expensive animatronic ever built.
Yeah.
Because nobody really uses animatronics anymore.
Which is bullshit.
they should.
Which they should.
I think it's like the third. I think the second is the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Which is the next episode of the podcast: CGI versus practical effects.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. The Lake Placid. That's what I loved most about it is because they use CGI rarely. The whole time you could see that it was a crocodile. I was like, whenever I first watched it as a little kid, I was like, how did they find a crocodile that fucking big and capture it? And then my mom's like, it's not real. I'm like, what?
But like, no, weird. Like I was saying earlier, classic Invisible Man, hands down, best Invisible Man that we've ever fucking movie that we've gotten. Because the one that was a remake that happened recently is not a real and fucking Invisible Man.
I was just about to mention that one. Yeah.
It's not real.
What about
Alright,
the-
that's bullshit. That pissed me the fuck off.
What about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Hey.
I'll take that over that bullshit.
Yeah. I believe they're redoing that movie.
What?
They're like gonna redo the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh.
Which I'm okay with, because the original one wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. I loved it.
And speaking of that, Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde, like when did he come into play? Like was he based off of a real motherfucker, or was he based off of Jack the Ripper or some shit?
No. He was just a scientist who I forgot what exactly he was trying to do.
I know, but like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they were legitimately based off of someone.
I've heard that.
I forgot.
They were based off of a famous killer. I don't think it's Jack the Ripper because Jack the Ripper got his own fucking movies and shit. Jack the Ripper was just a different motherfucker. What's that one movie that you and Brendan showed me? That really fucked up one that had the old Bilbo Baggins from Lord of the Rings. He played
From Hell?
Huh?
From Hell?
Yeah. That motherfucker, oh my god.
Johnny Depp?
Yeah, with Johnny Depp and with Johnny Depp. What's the actor's name? That's a really good Jack the Ripper. He played a really good one. He ended up getting what's the word? He ended up getting like shot where his brain is to where he became a fucking vegetable.
Yeah.
That would probably be on one of my fears, to become a fucking vegetable. Dude, you have no control over your body. You don't even know who the fuck you are anymore. You're just like...
That is true. That is true.
Oh, not because it's so fucked up. Like,
But
did he really do that though? Because like the way he killed people, like the way he killed the women, he took their vaginas out. He like really like surgically took their vaginas out. Did he actually do that? Like the real Jack the Ripper?
That's a good
Is
question.
that how his killings went?
Well, yes and no. Like there were some cases where he did do that, but he actually just like wanted.
Almost threw
It
up
was
during
almost
that
like
fucking scene.
it was almost practice surgical kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like
Did he need to like take their hearts out and shit? Or
somewhat, yeah, but like I mean, there was one murder case where he actually did it not out in the streets. He actually did it in a private brothel room.
Yeah.
And that was like the most brutal one yet, because like he fucking threw the woman's intestines all over the fucking room. Like there was some hanging from the ceiling, all over the bed, everywhere.
I know about that, but like, god damn, some dude killing you and taking your fucking vagina out. Oh, oh my god.
Which is actually a topic for a new series I wanted to do. Do you believe?
Oh, sure.
I told you about the Do You Believe?
Yeah.
I would like you to be on that one too.
What is it?
The topic is: do you believe that Jack the Ripper could have been a doctor or a police officer during the day? Like he was never caught.
I'm pretty sure
he
this
knew way too much shit about the human anatomy and did stuff.
I would say he was a. I would say Jack the Ripper was probably a fucking doctor.
Like, who was he during the day? But like, how well did he know everything to get away with it?
And also, if he was a dude who knew so much about it, you would think he'd have a lot of reputation,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
So, if anything, he should be a person that a lot of people knew. A lot of people should have known Jack the Ripper, but not Jack the Ripper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like knew him as a person,
but didn't know him what he actually was.
Exactly.
Like Superman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like his alter ego.
Like
everybody knew him as good old Jack, but nobody knew him as oh no Jack.
Yeah, but what do you call it? Like, didn't he have like oh shit? I lost my train of thought. But
where the fuck did Minion come from? You know the yes master.
Oh, Igor.
Igor, yeah.
Igor.
Where did he come from? Just came out of fucking nowhere.
Well, I don't know, but I like the Victor Frankenstein movies version of
Yeah.
Igor, where they found him in the fucking circus and he's not really a fucking hunchback.
Yeah.
I did like that concept.
That's a good movie.
That is, it's a very underrated film.
You know what's a
It was
movie
better than
that a lot of people don't really like because they think it's like super cheesy and shit, but I thought it was fucking phenomenal. Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
Dude, that was fucking
I
awesome.
fucking loved it. There was a lot of people that I've seen, a lot of people that I conversated with watching that movie. They're like, "Oh, that movie's so like it's so cheesy. You can tell exactly what's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen." I was like, "But look at the shit for the time it was in, for the time period it was in. Their CGI was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like I loved the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in that one. I loved the vampires on the way they did them and the werewolves. Holy shit! Those are to this day some of the best werewolves now. Like you look at fucking Twilight, they don't fucking compare to shit.
Let's not talk about that. That doesn't even fall under horror. That
but like look, like
teenager
Teen Wolf, Teen Wolf werewolves, Twilight werewolves. What else are the werewolves?
Those are not werewolves. Those are just fucking shapeshifters.
Are there werewolves in Vampire Diaries? I've never watched it. I've never watched Vampire Diaries.
Okay, if you want to talk about vampires, we're going to talk about vampires in the 80s when we're talking about like American Werewolf in London.
Vampires and What We Do in the Shadows, though, is fucking hilarious. You should watch it. Tyga plays one of the vampires. It's fucking hilarious.
Still, but after the classic movie monsters, then we started upgrading a little bit more. Like we had like It Came from Outer Space.
It Came from Outer Space. What was it? What's that one old movie with the giant vulture? It's like it's a super classic horror movie.
Oh, that one's in the fucking.
It's stupid cheesy. It's almost like the ant monster.
It was badly made cheesy.
I think it was like called The Claw. Was it called The Claw? Right?
No, it wasn't.
Was it called The Claw?
Because
it was a giant fucking vulture.
It's in there, but like then you also had like the first ever like really good ever zombie film, Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. Yep.
Oh, that one still holds up in my opinion to this day.
They were the one. How did those zombies work? They were the ones who they didn't run. They just walked.
They just walked and just.
Did they say brains?
No, that was Return of the Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, that was Return. Yeah.
That one was cheesy as fuck, but still good.
Dude, I've watched Night of the Living Dead like 5 times in my lifetime.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Fuck,
But like no, like then,
oh,
and
God.
then eventually it went from like the classic
from
movies
that.
from like it went from black and white to more color and more creativity.
And then Stephen King was born.
And then
Fuck, dude.
Stephen King's
Stephen
movie
King's a goddamn
adaptations were born.
madman. Fucking It. Who could have saw that motherfucker coming? Cujo, it's not really. Cujo is just a bad case of rabies, although the bat was Pennywise. In the book, it explains that it was Pennywise.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the bat was Pennywise. Pennywise caused that. If you pay attention to all of Stephen King's books and you read through all of them, you will see that it has to deal with the turtle of life and it fucking with each other. They're fighting each other. The Dark Tower, one of the characters is the turtle of life. I can't remember his name. But one of the characters is the turtle of life, and his arch nemesis is Pennywise.
He's fucking with me.
No, I'm not.
Like
You can check it.
No, you're fucking with my brain. That's what you're fucking doing.
That's a very big statement. You got me very.
If you read all of Stephen King's books, from The Dark Tower to It to Cujo to what was that one with the
Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery? Yep. The fucking
Christine.
I think Christine, maybe not.
Shining.
Yep, The Shining. What?
Dr. Sleep, obviously, because
Doctor Sleep, of course. What's that one with the kids? It's like Silent Hill. Dreamcatcher? Maybe.
You said kids. The first one.
Children of the Corn.
I think Children of the Corn, maybe.
It's
not all of Stephen King's books,
Firestarter?
but there's a lot. There's like 5 or 8 books that are literally just connected. Yeah, because a lot of them is caused by Pennywise, and a lot of good shit and a lot of good endings that happen is caused by the turtle.
fucking clown.
Yeah, and there's literally a book. Can't remember which book it was.
Behind that thing.
I can't remember which book it was, but after it, whenever they finally killed him in the book, in the second book, in this other book that has nothing to do with it, there's a little Easter egg, and it's about this little boy walking around the streets, and then he sees over here, he sees over to his wall. He's walking. There's a bunch of graffiti and shit, and then it's explaining all the graffitis and stuff. And one of the graffitis, it says "It lives,"
Oh shit.
and it's covered in red spray paint, and it's under a bridge. And then later on, the kid's walking by, and he thought he heard a noise, and he looked back, and then for some reason, he saw a red balloon under the bridge.
Oh shit.
The same bridge that said "It lives." That motherfucker's still alive.
What's the book?
I can't. That's the book I'm trying to figure out. I can't remember it. I think it's something. I'm gonna look it up while y'all keep talking.
But then, like, you gotta understand the classic movies. They're really fucking cheesy now in aspects, but if you think about it, at that time period, it was revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
But then you move to the 80s. The 80s, in my opinion, is still the pinnacle and the best fucking decade of horror films that we have ever gotten. Because, I mean, come on. That was, like, literally the birth decade of the slasher films.
Yep, practical effects and gore.
I mean, hell, Tom Savini was king during that decade. Like, everyone wanted to work with him. And he first started with the fucking first Friday the 13th, and then, like, skyrocketed to other movie franchises.
Did you know? I just recently found this out a few days ago, and I did have no idea that the when Halloween came out, another film producer or a writer saw the income that movie was receiving around that time in the year that it came out, and it was so huge that someone instantly was like, well, what can we do to possibly top this or match it?
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 13th was born. So someone, a little bit after Halloween, saw the gross amount of money that movie had made.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's when, I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No.
Yeah, I just recently found that out just a few days ago, that it was on purpose to make Friday the 13th to make more money than Halloween. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it probably did its job, because Friday the 13th is like one of the most beloved horror franchises of all time. One of them,
yeah.
Because like you got your classics like like the Nightmare on Elm Street. You got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That one is very spread out.
That one is like, what the fuck?
I feel like there was like 2 movies per decade.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, in my opinion, it kind of went downhill after the first one, though. I mean, the second one...
Sense of humor, comedy.
Yeah, the second one was just a straight-up comedy one, which, in all honesty, fucking worked, because it made me laugh my ass off. And fucking Chop Top's like my favorite fucking... I fucking love Chop Top, and then fucking the third one, I'm like, okay.
That one was more 80s style.
That one's more 80s style, but like, okay.
Let's talk about the fourth one, though.
What the fuck were they thinking?
Matthew McConaughey. That one. That one.
I honestly believe Matthew McConaughey was just trying to do his best Tuscan Raider impersonation just the entire fucking film.
Oh my god.
Like, oh my god.
That one was weird.
And then the golden chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like, why do you need a golden chainsaw?
Although I did dig the Saw is family thing.
I did like that too, but the fact that it was made of pure gold, I mean, like, come on, they're living out in the fucking middle of nowhere. They're going to use that gold to get the fuck out of there.
And then you have the remake.
And then you got, the fucking remake that happened in 2003. Yeah. That is proof right there that horror movies can be remade properly.
Okay, so you do like that remake.
I love both, the remake and then the prequel to the remake. I liked both of those.
Texas Chainsaw 3D.
That one, I was okay with it. I liked it.
Oh, you're talking. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. You're talking about the beginning.
Like the beginning. Like the one where what is it? Like it actually shows like his origins and everything. Like he was born in the fucking slaughterhouse, and then fucking they took him in and everything, and then
I think that's 2007.
That 2007, 2006, around that time,
somewhere right there,
time frame, and then the one that was 3D. I liked that one.
Was supposed to be a direct sequel to the original, but now here we do. Have you heard about the new one?
The new one. I'm like, oh come on, don't fuck. Please tell me this is not another fucking timeline.
So apparently it's supposed to be another direct. They're going to completely eliminate.
Oh, this is another fucking timeline.
So they're going to completely disregard the Part 2 sequel comedy in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then they're going to completely disregard Texas Chainsaw 3D timeline completely. And they're going to bring Sally Hardesty, the survivor, back 40 years later.
I did see that. The reason why they're doing that is because of the fucking Halloween remake that came out, or the reboot that came out a couple years ago, which was an absolute fucking success.
Mm-hmm.
That one, in my opinion, is like one of the greatest Halloween films that we've gotten in recent memory. In my opinion, it was a little bit better than Rob Zombie ones. I love the first Rob Zombie. The second Rob Zombie is like, what the fuck?
More of a mental thing.
It was more of a mental thing mixed in with his music videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it had the music video aspect. Like what the fuck is that horse doing there? And why is Sherry Moon in white?
Yeah.
Like I was like, what the fuck?
I think it might be in the Tommyknockers, or it might be in the Institute of the books.
Yeah. But like,
fuck, I'm not even gonna look into that anymore.
Now, like the Friday the 13th,
it's there, I promise.
Friday the 13th franchise, first one, no one saw the twist ending coming. I didn't see the twist ending coming when I first saw it. With like fucking Pamela Voorhees being the fucking killer.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is this bitch?
What?
Oh, you're the killer. Okay. Good job. You've been doing some good kills.
Jimmy's mom.
Second one, you get the fucking potato sack fucking Jason Voorhees, and I'm like, okay, that's a big, scary, intimidating motherfucker. I don't want to fuck with him.
I don't want your potatoes.
then you got the third one. Hands down, in my opinion, still one of the best Friday the 13th.
Friday the 3D?
3D, the part 3. The birth of the hockey mask.
True.
And then 4, also, the one with fucking, what is that? I think that one's the one with Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
That one was absolutely amazing.
I did like that one a lot.
The next one, I'm like...
Yeah, that's when it starts to like...
Like, Jason's not really Jason. It's just a guy getting revenge for the death of his son at a fucking... rehabilitation camp or some shit like that.
Then it spans off through Manhattan.
Who
or something
are
like
you?
that.
But here's the thing: that one ended on such a big cliffhanger, and they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Oliver literally, or
Tommy
Jarvis,
Wiseau.
Tommy Jarvis. I meant Tommy Jarvis, not Tommy Oliver. I'm thinking Power Rangers. But Tommy Jarvis fucking puts on the hockey mask and is about to kill the chick in the fucking hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Next film, he's resurrecting Jason. What the fuck are you doing?
It's like, what happened to the girl?
Like, don't get me wrong, that version, like, that was a good idea. Like, that was a great way of bringing back Jason. Like, he's dead. How the fuck are you gonna bring him back? Oh, well, fucking yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Frankenstein it. All right.
The one where he was like back from hell or something like that.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Goes to hell.
That one, hands down, is one of the worst Friday the 13th ever. Because, like, it was weird. I mean, like, come on. Jason possessing the souls of someone after a fucking organ donor person fucking eats his heart. Why the fuck would he eat a heart?
And it's like, what kind of, like, this is oddly a weird, very strategic coincidence that just occurred.
And then, like, his soul gets transferred into him. Like,
It's like, oh, fuck, I'll never get out of hell. I have to wait for this motherfucker to eat. I have to wait for some random-ass person to eat a heart. Oh, look, someone's eating a heart right now. Wow.
Okay, but before that, there was Manhattan one. Manhattan, like, what the fuck were they thinking with that?
Yeah.
What the fuck were they thinking? But, like, no, when Jason Goes to Hell, the reason why it did so well with home sale shit was because of Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Because Blockbuster, everyone rushed to go get that movie, fast forward it all the way to the end just to see fucking Freddy Krueger's hand come out of the ground and pull Jason's mask down to hell.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why people bought that movie to watch.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of the whole movie. Skips to the end. All right, movie's over.
Here's another reason why I watched that movie. Because I was told, and it was actually true, that the Necronomicon from Evil Dead was in the film.
It was the Easter egg, right?
It was an Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
Which tied in, in Jason Voorhees' home, like the one that his mommy saw in the house, right in front of the fireplace was the Necronomicon.
And which film?
Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, okay.
Did you know the fucking the Dark Tower movie? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
The new one that came out?
I don't care what anyone says. I like that film.
I liked it a lot too. Did you know that in the Easter egg, apparently for the Dark Tower, this occurs before Cujo? Because in the movie, you see the chick walking her dog, and it's Cujo, or the man walking the dog, and it's Cujo.
I did not.
Yeah, if you go back and watch that movie, you can see Cujo just casually walking, and it's him before he became a murder-eating man dog.
But what do you call it? But like, there's like so many things that was let's see. But like the Necronomicon actually did tie in to Jason Voorhees eventually, because we're just gonna skip Jason X because that was absolute dog shit.
We're just not even gonna talk about that. That's like Mortal Kombat versus DC. No one talks about that.
No, that's like the fucking Green Lantern film. We don't talk about that. Oh, actually, no, that's like fucking Motley Crue when they replaced Vince. We don't talk about that. Anyway, we're gonna skip Jason X, and then we got Freddy vs. Jason. Hands
That
down,
one was
one
fun.
of the best fucking
That one was a
crossovers
badass movie.
ever.
Yeah.
That was a very badass movie.
I love the film so damn much. I love it. To this day, it's still one of my favorite horror films of all time.
Oh, it creeped me out when he turned into that fucking worm maggot looking thing.
Okay, that thing was like badly CGI.
Oh god, that thing was disgusting.
But believe it or not, when the movie was over, they had a script for a sequel, but they didn't get the funds for it, so they turned it into a comic book instead.
Talking about the whole Ash thing.
Which, yes, they were going to bring in Ash. It was going to be Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually confirmed that Jason was a Deadite. Jason was a Deadite, and the only way for Freddy to come back to the real world as a living human being was through the Necronomicon. He had a big part to play. And, it was so... I read the entire comic book series.
Oh, wow.
I loved every single second of it. Every single second of it, except for the part in the very first copy after, because it was like a couple years after the events of the first movie, where the chick and the guy, like the two survivors at the end of it, they go back to Camp Crystal Lake to get some closure or some shit like that.
Mm.
But when they go there, Jason kills them.
Oh,
Jason straight up murders them. And he drags their body back to hell or some shit like that. and you see fucking Freddy fucking Pamela Voorhees in front of Jason. It's like, what the fuck?
Who's your daddy?
Don't fucking do that. Don't fucking do that.
Bob, what the fuck, dude?
But like, no, like
Did they fight in hell after that, or
they fought a couple times, but like whenever they got back on Earth, when Ash was involved, that's when they started fighting. The reason why Ash was involved is because they
they
built the
needed
fucking
the Necronomicon in the first place, and Ash has the
No.
Necronomicon, right?
The reason why Ash was even close to Camp Crystal Lake in the first place is because he was the manager of a new S-Mart that opened next to Camp Crystal Lake. So
It's a weird coincidence.
it's very coincidence, and he actually got like a new fucking chainsaw that was like giant fucking lightsaber length. So like he would hold it out and it would go straight through the fucking wall.
This is making me want to expand to the whole Ash versus Evil Dead series, and then also expand to the Friday the 13th remake.
Okay, the remake, I fucking love the remake of Friday the 13th. I don't care what anyone says.
Mhm.
I love it. I mean, granted, I can't believe I'm saying this. A lot of boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs. I will say that.
But through all those 80s films, 80s was...
It was drugs,
So was
sex,
the
rock and
boobs.
roll.
Yeah.
It was drugs, sex, rock and roll in like music industry and the film industry. It
Right.
didn't matter what the fuck you watched. It could have been like a drama. It could have been a horror. It could have been action. Either way, it had drugs, sex, and fucking rock music.
The fucking Cabin in the Woods. Oh my god, I loved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
I loved on how the stoner actually lived because he smoked weed.
Like, this is a bad idea.
He's like, how the fuck is he not getting hit with all these hormonal changes? It's because this motherfucker has smoked so much shit, he's become immune to it.
Exactly.
It's like,
He's
what
immune
the
to
fuck?
drugs.
This motherfucker smoked so much kush.
That's actually... that movie, the Underground M part is like... me
With the
personally,
giant
like, one
fucking
of my
hand.
favorites.
The giant fucking hand comes
release.
out, the angry
Yeah.
titans.
Yeah, the Titans coming out there. That was fucking amazing.
Holy shit. And it's like, how did these motherfuckers get those monsters and shit?
Like, how the fuck did they trap him in the first
Yeah.
place?
They had a giant snake, they had hellbats, they had a werewolf, they had a fucking merman.
They had a fucking Cenobite knockoff
Yeah.
with like saw blades hanging out and everything.
They had the hillbillies, they had all kinds of shit.
They captured a ghost. How the fuck can you capture a ghost?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a ghost.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Where's the fucking Ghostbusters?
Were they supposed to be some sort of government?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a secret government that makes sure that the world stays alive. Without that, the world would have ended like years ago because the Titans need those sacrifices to be satisfied to stay down there.
It just raises so many questions.
And because they didn't
matter.
they didn't get sacrificed, those two people survived because they didn't sacrifice.
No.
Because the weed guy didn't die.
The pothead didn't die.
It angered the Titans, and the Titans came up and they
They didn't
basically
care whether or not the fucking virgin or the chick
lived or
lived
died.
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they killed the fucking stoner.
Yeah, they wanted the stoner to die. They wanted the fool to die.
A lot of people did not like the whole ending part of the CGI hand.
Well, yeah, but to
It
be
seems
fair,
like
because they
a
put
little
so much into the other monsters.
Yeah. I mean, you have a production value, and only a short amount of it can go into like certain sections.
I love the role that Chris Hemsworth played in it.
The jock.
Yeah, the jock. He just fucking drove off the
All right,
motorcycle.
I'm gonna jump over this canyon and I'll be back. See ya.
Bonk! Just dead.
Oh wow.
Who knew?
But like no, like then you got, but still, modern horror films, unfortunately, I hate to say this, can't hold a fucking candle to the 80s in my opinion. Like the early 2000s, all right, you got some great ideas. Like for
About
instance, Saw.
Silence of the
Saw.
Lambs.
Saw, like Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, that was a good idea, but that was a bit like it. I mean, yes, it's classified as a horror film, but like it's more of just a murder mystery kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's still pretty fucked up.
It's still pretty fucked up.
What's
yes.
that one where the other dude, he comes back for revenge and he wants to eat him, Hannibal Lecter? He wants to eat Hannibal Lecter?
I think that was Lecter. Hannibal. It was another. I think it was a movie in 2003. I don't really remember.
But yeah, it's a pretty fucked up movie.
But like no, you got Saw. Saw was like fucking mind blowing at the fucking time. Like
The first song that ever came out, holy shit!
And that was
it was gruesome
that was like
too.
A fucking indie film.
Yeah, and if I'm correct, nobody lived. No one lived through it, right? Everyone died except for that one dude.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Dr. Gore. Dr. Lauren Gore.
Yeah.
Fuck! Lawrence Gordon!
You know where you're getting at. Yeah, we know where you're going at.
Fuck!
But yeah,
That's
like nobody won.
No one. Well, he won technically. He won, but he kind of cheated at the same time.
Yeah.
Like originally, he wasn't supposed to. If Amanda didn't fucking screw them over, he wouldn't have had to lose a foot.
I was always conversating with my friends and my homies growing up with that whole Saw series throughout the years. I was very, very surprised because with all my other friends that were like super into horror, I was always asking them, well, where's Dr. Gordon? Where's he at? And I always asked myself, and I was always expecting it in the next sequel. And I was like, and I was thinking about that. And I'm like, wow, they just completely disregarded that until we get to what, 7?
7.
And I was like,
7.
Okay.
7, the absolute shit one. Like, come on, you couldn't bring him back for a good one?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
do you know what movie fucked me up as a kid, horror movie wise?
What's that?
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Really?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Really?
It's the same.
There's a movie. I thought there was a TV series.
It wasn't.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Don't Be Afraid of the Dark is about the.
That's the one with Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Oh, the little tooth fairies?
Yeah. Fuck, dude, that shit fucked me up. Dude, if you were in a house all by yourself and you just hear shit coming out of your vent, and then all of a sudden slowly the lights started turning off, and then shit comes under your bed, the fuck you gonna do?
That movie's cute to me. It's not scary.
No, it's not. It's not the monsters and the shit that scared me. It was the concept that is what scared me. It's like we don't know what the fuck is underground, and we don't know what the fuck could come up. You can just be casually moving into this house, and you're like, "Oh, it's a great house." All of a sudden, some really bad shit happens, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And then it's these weird things. The monsters, they were fine. They weren't even scary. I wasn't afraid of that. I was afraid of the idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this new movie that came out. It's not exactly a horror movie. It's just more of a murder thing. It's called What Keeps You Alive. It's based on the fear and the phobia of not knowing your loved one's true thoughts. It's about this lesbian couple that ends up going camping out in the woods, and they've been like married for like a while, and for like 2 years now, and they go up, and this chick has this medical condition that costs a lot of money, and they go up there to this log cabin, and finds out that this chick, who she's married to, has the disease, is actually this psychopathic murderer who has killed other people she's married, killed them, took their income and will money to pay off her shit.
Yeah.
This whole time, and she's killed like 9 other fucking people. And she like literally pushes the first like 15 minutes of the movie, she pushes her wife off a cliff, and she somehow lives. It's terrifying. The idea of it is terrifying. The movie itself is just holy shit. It's more of a thriller more than a horror movie, but they were trying to go for horror.
I love it when I love thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when
it's a really chilling movie because it's like that the fear of it. It's like you can marry someone and then all of a sudden 2 years down the line they try to kill you. Like the fear of that goes. Concept. Yeah, I love the concepts behind it. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark scared me as a kid because of the concept, not because of the way the movie played out. I knew what was going to happen. I knew what the monsters looked like, and they were baby shit, but it was the concept that scared me. It's like little things, just darkness, just coming in your room and shit. Fuck that, dude.
See, with me growing up, I mean, I can watch it now because I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I can watch it now.
Like now I can watch it and I'm like, why the fuck was I scared about this in the first place? But the thing is, I was afraid of Chucky growing up because I have a fear.
I was never afraid of Chucky.
Dolls.
I was never afraid of Chucky.
I hate dolls, especially the ones that you can like hold like this, and when you lay them down, their fucking eye just shut. I hate those. I hate those and the porcelain ones. I hate.
Oh, so Annabelle as well?
Okay,
you don't
first
like
of all,
Annabelle?
I don't like the Annabelle movies for two
The
reasons.
first one,
I don't
not
like-
the other two. Not the others.
No,
Those
I don't
are
like- I
just
don't like-
shit.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I don't like the Conjuring series at all.
What?
Yeah, not
I don't like the
They're
Conjuring
cheesy.
films like at all. I don't.
I like the concept. I like what they went with, and I loved on how the stuff, and I liked some parts
And the
of the
fact that
movies.
they went
But
to like with the cases that were based on true stories. I
Yeah.
like that.
Man, y'all are talking with the big fan, James Wan fan.
I'm a James Wan fan too, but
I don't not like The Conjuring, but at the same time, I don't hate it. It's good. I can watch them, but
I mean,
I never got
just,
scared of
It's
it.
boring to me. I'm sorry. Like there is some good scares. There are some good scares, but I'm like,
You're
I
crushing
watched
this man's heart right
I could have
now.
watched
No,
a
no, no.
cheesier
I'm
80s
just-
film.
Y'all are the first to ever not agree.
But, like-
it's gonna be very interesting.
But like, I don't like the Annabelle series for two reasons. One, I fucking hate the doll. Like I said, I hate the doll.
Yeah.
I hate the doll. And two, I literally watched it. I was given the DVD for my for Christmas, right? Because my family knows I love horror films. I sat down, put it in there, and I started watching. And as soon as I got done watching it, I saw the credits roll. I'm like, that's it? Where's the fucking scares?
Fucking I don't. Did you watch it with us? As above, so below.
Oh,
I fucking love that
That
film.
is such a good concept.
one of my favorites.
That is the biggest movie that if you have severe claustrophobia, do not fucking
I do
watch
have
it.
claustrophobia, but like,
Don't watch it.
But like, oh god, that's like, oof.
That's a
They
good
literally
one.
go
That's a
to
solid
hell. They
Like-
literally go to hell.
But no, like I don't like those. Matter of fact, I don't know if this is also going to make you
The
upset.
worst
but
part is it's all that bitch's fault.
it is that bitch's fault.
It's through and through this bitch's fault. Fuck that
We gotta
bitch.
go back. He lost a fucking ton of blood. No, we want to go further because I can see that little red ruby at the end of the fucking comic.
It's like we have to keep going. I don't want to be a part of this trip, but I need you in this trip. I don't want to go. Okay, you don't have to go. Oh shit, looks like you're stuck with us. Fuck you. I would have sent my ass back to those cops. I would have been
Yeah,
like, I'm going to the cops. Fuck that. They're gonna arrest me. Fuck that shit.
but no, like the
Good
another
God.
movie series I do not like because they're too cheesy to me, and they just like ugh to me.
Mhm.
Insidious.
Wow.
I actually have not seen that.
I don't like the Insidious franchise.
Okay.
I've not seen
you
Insidious.
You don't like James Wan's work, or
No,
his-
I do like James Wan's work. It's just they could have done better scripts. They could have done better scares.
You know
The
what's
only
a
thing that
big
scared the
flop?
shit out of me in the fucking Insidious film was when that woman looks up and all of a sudden you see like that Darth Maul looking motherfucker right
yeah.
there.
Do you know what was a big flop that I'm really fucking disappointed in? Because the character and the concept of this character and this monster is so famous. Slender Man. They fucked him up
I have not watched
bad.
it.
Don't even watch. Just don't.
Oh, in that
They-
case, don't watch Bye Bye Man.
They fucked him up so bad.
both of them. No.
God damn, dude. It is
like the Bye
terrible.
Bye Man had some good promise.
Also, Rings. Oh, fuck no,
That
dude.
was weird.
That one was stupid.
There was one movie that was actually really good that I did enjoy. Fuck, what was it? Sinister.
Sinister, I have not
Oh.
seen it. need to
I
watch it.
fucking love Sinister.
That was one film that actually scared me.
That was
Sinister?
like, what the
Yeah.
What's it
fuck?
about? What's it about?
This guy's like an author about like murder shit that happened in the past and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
He moves into a house that is like big about like this one murder thing that happened there years ago.
Mhm.
He goes upstairs and he finds a box of like fucking old like actual movie reels,
Mhm.
and it's like saying family picnic.
Right.
He starts watching it and it looks like nice and everything, like nice little family have and whatnot. All of a sudden, this kid, like the fucking lawnmower, comes out of nowhere and starts running over all the family's head because they're all tied up and like fucking bound and everything.
Sounds like family murder.
Oh
tapes.
shit.
Yeah, family murder tapes, and it's all run by this fucking, I can't remember his fucking name, but he's like
Bagul.
the ghoul. Yeah, he's like fucking. He's wearing a fucking.
Oh, that symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like fucking in a nice suit and everything, long Tommy Wiseau hair, and like no fucking mouth.
He looks like he belongs in Slipknot.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I get it.
And he's like controlling them to fucking kill the family,
Controlling the child.
controlling the child that he has an attachment of. and the kids are the one that's killing the family.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
It's always
the
the kids.
The youngest kids
Oh,
kill the family.
so why does he do it?
He possesses their vessel for power.
Oh, it gives him power.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
There's two of them. I like the first one more than the second.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But the fact that they announced that they're making a third one, I'm excited.
True. But then yeah, you said something that got me thinking really hard. You said you don't like cheesy, but yet we're on the concept of 1980s, which a lot of mainstream
Oh well,
people look at.
I mean, like, when I say cheesy, I mean, like, just nothing but jump scares. Nothing but jump scares.
Do you know what movies that I find to be my favorite horror movies? The ones where you don't ever see the killer or the monster.
I like those two.
The fear of not knowing what the fuck it is coming after you is terrifying.
So then that can go back to the 80s.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you don't know what's happening. You don't know what to do. You don't know what you're up against.
Like
You're
how,
fucked.
Like how it
You're
was with
utterly fucked.
like how it was with the Halloween, like
Halloween.
fucking stab. All of a sudden he goes outside, like, Michael, what are you doing? And you find out it's a fucking little kid.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like, and then also like I said earlier, Pamela Voorhees.
Mhm.
No one knew who the fuck it was until this random stranger comes out like, I was the owner of this place, yada yada yada, and my son was blah 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 blah. I'm like, she has a tone that I'm not liking here.
Yeah.
You killed him.
And then you have the birth of other things like Hellraiser,
Yeah.
and then Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hellraiser was a fucked up movie.
The
Yeah.
fact they're rebooting that.
They're rebooting it?
Yes.
That is confirmed. Either this year or next year.
Oh, wow. Are they getting the same dude to be Pinhead?
I don't
No.
know. I don't
Because
know.
he's still alive, right?
He's still alive, but he's like his face is like too wrinkly and everything that is fucking it's not gonna work.
So they
Just
said,
get them.
the one thing I know for sure is that this Hellraiser remake, they did say, I just recently read about it. They said they're gonna try to top the Evil Dead.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They said they are not holding back.
Fuck yes.
Speaking of that, it's like gory wise, the Carnage movie that's supposed to be coming out. It is going. Disney and Marvel have both said this is going to be Disney's first rated R movie because it's going to be the goriest Marvel movie in history.
What?
Carnage,
Yeah.
yeah, his movie. He's getting his own little thing with Venom. Oh, it's supposed to be the goriest movie of Marvel out of every Marvel movie. This is
R-rated, but
yeah.
then you mentioned Disney?
Because
Yeah.
Disney bought them. Disney bought Venom and Disney bought Venom and Deadpool.
Okay. I didn't know about Carnage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Carnage is part of Venom.
Okay.
Because at the end you see what is his name? Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, he's gonna be Carnage. He's Cletus Cassidy.
So I haven't seen Venom. So
It's a good movie.
It's very good.
It's a really good movie. And at the post-end credits, you see Cletus Cassidy, who was the host for Carnage. And the thing about
Fresh.
Carnage is made from blood. The symbiote himself used to be a regular symbiote. The only problem is that
2 seconds.
instead of going on to Cletus Cassidy, he got a cut. He ends up getting a cut in the comics, and the symbiote goes into his blood. And so instead of doing that, he ends up morphing into this blood-based symbiote. Carnage's whole thing. The reason why he's red and black, and he's primarily red, is because that's all blood. That's his blood covering his body.
Is this a spoiler?
No, this isn't a spoiler. This is
Okay.
just how he is in the comics. This
Okay.
is Carnage as a whole. He's more blood than symbiote. He's blood and symbiote combined. And fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. And he's this mass murder serial killer. He loves to kill. He's an agent. He's almost like the Joker. He's the agent of chaos. He loves chaos. He wants anarchy. He wants to watch the world burn.
Anyone else want to cut?
Or what?
Anyone else
No,
want to cut?
thank you. I'm good.
Let me go
but-
get you the cups.
He's so insane that he ends up turning the symbiote who latches onto him. He turns the symbiote insane, so that symbiote cannot latch onto anyone except for Cletus and occasionally Deadpool, and then in one comic instance, even Thanos. But this movie, it's supposed to be a horror-esque, gory fucking movie. because this dude is insane. There's comic you can see in the books, they're always rated R. The comic books that you had to get for Carnage are always rated R because he like rips kids in half. He rips their intestines out and shit. He wears their rib cages and stuff. This motherfucker enjoys disemboweling his enemies because his whole body is sharp. And the worst part about him is if he gets one cut on you, you're fucked. Because when he cuts you, he's basically cutting you with his own blood. So his blood gets inside of your bloodstream, and then he rips you from the inside out.
Yeah, we're gonna actually look this up.
He's terrifying. He is my favorite Marvel villain. And it has been confirmed that this is supposed to be Marvel's gruesome movie.
Probably 4. You know what? For that size of cup,
Like, have you ever watched the show The Boys?
I've only heard of it.
You've seen The Boys?
I've seen bits and pieces.
It's supposed to be gorier than that.
I haven't seen the entire series yet.
It's supposed to be gorier than that.
Oh shit! That really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, have you seen the trailer for it within the first scene of The Boys where this dude's girlfriend gets literally just exploded?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be gorier than that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be gory as fuck.
Okay.
And they're in the makings of it. That's why we haven't gotten any trailer or anything. But it has been confirmed that Carnage's movie is going to be stupid bloody. Lots of ripping people in half, ripping their skulls and shit out of them.
And then I don't know if we were going to mention TV series or shows that have to do with horror or anything.
Yeah,
American
TV,
Horror Story is awesome,
games.
but it's been falling apart.
What?
American Horror Story. It's been getting so
really
stupid.
has. Like,
It's gotten so old. I love the first like six seasons, I think.
Really? You didn't like Apocalypse?
Apocalypse was good.
Apocalypse was good, but like,
It was more of a thriller. It was more of a thriller to me than a horror
Yeah.
esque. Freak Show? Oh my god, fuck that. Nope, I don't like Freak Show. It scares the shit out of me, dude. That clown.
Freak Show was my fucking favorite.
I know,
bro.
I like it, and I watched it, and I was like, holy shit! That was like the one thing. That was the biggest season that has ever scared the ever living shit out of me.
Do you know what the biggest season was, though? Go.
My ex-girlfriend, she wanted me to watch Coven so fucking bad because she says it was hands down the best season. I watched Coven. It was a good season. I will admit it was a good season. But I still believe the fucking Freak Show was my absolute favorite. Or Asylum.
So
Give me some snacky snacks.
A lot of people, when the subject of American Horror Story gets brought up, I end up finding out that a lot of people gravitated more towards Asylum, which actually ended up being my least favorite because it was too dull for me. Too dark, too quiet, too very. I loved it. I love American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
That one didn't do it for me because there was nothing about it. Thank you.
No problem.
There was nothing in there to grab me. I'm more of a ghost, demonic, twisted type of guy. I for some reason just the theme and feeling didn't do it for me. I need something that pops out.
Yeah.
I'm the type of dude that wants something to pop out. So that's why Hotel was my favorite.
I fucking loved Hotel. I'm like, the first episode kind of creeped me the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like that skinny flesh fucking thing with like the drill.
The drug demon.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that? And then the fucking fact that he was like basically fucking the guy to death. I was like, okay, this is a little uncomfortable, but I'm still gonna watch.
So I heard that guy got pushed and made those sex scenes happen on TV. That's another thing. She enforced a lot of things and told Ryan Murphy, the creator, we're not holding back. I want to make shit happen, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, this is really bloody and really sexual for TV.
Yeah.
Especially on American Horror Story. That
FX.
You know, don't be surprised as if in this movie they murder a fucking kid because we haven't had a kid murder in a horror movie for a while because of a bunch of laws and shit that have been passed.
Yeah. And then they have have you ever heard about the new one?
The
season 10.
Not heard.
It's
well, I've heard that it had Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah. Oh, and then so I'm very curious about this. Half of the fans are like yay, half of the fans are like nay. So it's gonna be two seasons in one.
What?
One on water, one on the sea, and one by the sea. So they're saying this might be vampires and mermaids
What
this
the
year.
fuck?
Yes.
That just caught my attention.
That sounds interesting because
One set in a timepiece, the other one recent. One on the sea, timepiece. One on land, present, and both seasons in the one connected.
what's that book series that Brendan was talking about? It's about vampire pirates.
I'm sorry.
Brendan was talking about a book series about vampire pirates.
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna fucking check it out because it's combining two of my favorite things of all time.
This is really good.
Holy shit.
No problem. But like, oh man, but like horror has been going down like so.
It's because a
fucking
lot of
bad.
people who make horror movies, they rely way too much on the jump scares, except for
They rely too much on the jump scares and the fact that the remakes. There's only like maybe a handful of remakes that were absolutely fucking good. Like we talked about earlier, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My opinion, we also had the fucking Friday the 13th remake. One that I absolutely will stand to this fucking day as one of the greatest horror movie remakes of all fucking time, The Evil Dead.
Yeah. Yep.
That was okay. Granted, a lot of people didn't like it just because they didn't have fucking Ash. Okay, we get it. Ash is a very amazing character, but the story of it still holds true to the fucking original source material.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fucking bunch of people go into the fucking cabin to do whatever they fucking need to do. All of a sudden, they find a book bound in flesh and inked in blood that everyone's like, yeah, don't fucking open that. Then you had that one fucking idiot. It's like,
I'm gonna open it.
nice. And they're like, fuck, insane fucking dumbass shit. All of a sudden, bad shit happens. It's seriously.
Conda.
You always see when we go to the cabin.
Right.
When we go to the cabin.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Please, for the love of fuck, if you find a book, leave it alone. If you find a book, leave it alone. If you find a cube, leave it alone. If you find a diary, leave it the fuck alone.
Oh, I'm gonna make jokes now. Totally gonna make jokes.
Like, Jesus
We'll
fuck.
walk in your house, be like, "Hey, Jared, they just found this book out in the woods that teaches you how to cook."
Oh, what's the main ingredient? A human foot. Leave it alone.
Goddamn.
I heard they taste it these days.
The author's a very diabetic but really hungry coyote.
Hey, looks like Catherine agreed. Wait, are you agreeing with the Evil Dead remake? Because if you are, but still, like, oh my god, like that was such an underrated remake in my opinion.
Evil Dead?
Yeah, or not? It was underrated because like no one fucking liked it. Everyone.
It was
hated
almost like an Xbox versus PS4 type of shindig. You had people who loved it, and then you had people who were having a hissy fit because Ash didn't show up.
And
He showed up for a little tiny
just a little bit.
It was fucking worth it though.
Yeah.
But everyone left the fucking movie theaters because thought, oh, it's over.
So
So they missed the fucking narration on the fucking little tape reader thing, and all of a sudden you fucking groovy.
yeah.
I fucking loved it. Yeah, she agrees it was the Evil Dead one.
that was such.
What about the 90s? What about the 90s?
90s, you had I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Candyman.
Candyman. Okay, Candyman is fucking amazing. I can't fucking wait for that goddamn remake.
Jordan Peele.
Jordan, people give shit to
I
Jordan
love his
Peele,
movies,
but,
dude.
like,
I love his movies. Us, Get Out.
that's your opinion, and I respect that. Sorry, his girlfriend said that she likes the original Evil Dead though a lot better than the remake.
Oh, well.
It's your opinion. It's wrong, but it's still good.
It's wrong.
The best one in my hands down. I'm like I said, the remake was good, but I still think Evil Dead 2 was better. I really want to say Army of Darkness, but Army of Darkness was more of a comedy than anything.
Yeah.
So was 2. It had its sense of humor moments.
Yeah, it did. They're both good, but that's my childhood. Okay. but like, no, like,
He's like, okay, you're still wrong.
okay, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Candyman. Candyman, I loved Candyman growing up. Like, it scared the shit out of me because the fucking
does.
bees. The bees scared me more than anything because you saw the fucking open rib cage, you saw the stomp and everything.
Yeah. What got to me was the score.
Oh, the score was amazing.
The score gets me. Look, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. That's what Candyman does to me still. There's something about that. No.
Please, I hope Jordan like found someone to keep like somewhat like that still ambiance of the same score to this one.
I was told that even the original, I forgot his name.
The
Original Candyman.
Tony Meese,
Something like that.
something like that.
He's gonna appear in this film. It's apparent.
Fuck yeah! I'm sorry, I love that guy, dude. He's amazing. I loved him as the fucking.
I can see that.
I loved him as the fucking autopsy guy in the fucking Final Destination films.
Yeah.
I loved him as that. The fact that there's still a theory going around, and I believe in that theory that he is death in fucking
Incarnate.
Like he's death himself in fucking living form.
I want them to
kinda-
make I don't know if it would rather be
Retcons it.
Netflix or whatever, but have you ever played the Until Dawn series? Like there's that new game that came where they have to relive the witch trials and shit. They're great ass games. I want them to make them into a series.
Dude, that would be awesome.
They're supposed to come out with the final game soon because there's 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's 4 of them. They're so good. They're a butterfly effect. And it's the same dude all the time who is basically death, and he's making books for the man upstairs.
Yeah.
Because it's his job. He's basically death, and so he asks you to help him make a story in the newest game, and so you help him make the Witch Trials. The Witch Trials horror game, which is really fucking good. It's not better than Until Dawn, but it's still a really good one.
Yeah.
With all the Wendigos and shit.
There was a recent horror movie remake. I actually watched it. The original was so cheesy, so fucking horrible, so bad.
Right.
But I still loved them to death because of how funny they were. They were called Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
I have not seen that. Catherine just went and saw that.
The new one was absolutely fucking amazing. Like, it didn't follow, like, they didn't have the fucking hillbilly inbreds. They didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like its own fucking colony, like its own tribe and everything. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like, the story, like, they are brutal.
It's like it's almost like Green. I was talking to her about this. We were literally talking about this. It's like it almost reminds me of the Green Inferno.
Dude, okay.
Holy shit.
Dude, no. How about that old one from the early 2000s, The Descent?
Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
That had my claustrophobic fucking meter up, like, it was like, get the fuck out of here.
No.
Then you got, like, shit, what was another? Okay, back to, like I said, I was a big fan of the fucking...
I'm actually really happy that apparently Wrong Turn's getting really good reviews because I was very skeptical about it, but now I might actually watch it.
They also had their own sense of mortality, like they would... Yeah. Yes, exactly. They also had their own... almost their own sense of morality. Like, we look at them, and yeah, they're wrong, but they're really...
What am I talking about?
But in their eyes, they believe they're doing what is
they believe
right.
they believe what they're doing is right. Well, we're like,
You're
"You guys
insane.
are fucking crazy."
So I haven't seen, when it comes to Wrong Turn, I haven't seen anything past 2, so that's it. I've only seen 1 and 2. That's it.
Stay that way. Don't watch 3,
Don't
4,
watch.
5.
Don't watch them.
any.
Just watch the newest one because that has nothing to do with them.
Okay.
Don't
It's a
watch
complete
any-
new,
after those two,
complete new
don't watch
story.
any other
It's totally.
I can see based on the covers, I don't want to see.
Yeah, don't.
It's all new. It's almost like Sharknado. The next Sharknado is supposed to have space time and fucking dinosaurs.
What the hell are we coming into
That's
the world
fucking
where we're-
Sharknado.
Okay, why the fuck is Sharknado even classified as a horror film?
It's not.
No,
It's a
there's
sci-fi monster film.
It's a sci-fi monster film, but with some people, idiots. Who
Who the fuck gets scared of a tornado with sharks? First off, the tornado would kill the shark.
Exactly.
So the only thing you really need to be watching out for is a bunch of flying dead blunt objects coming at you.
We already get enough of that with the fucking cows.
Yeah.
But like, no, like, okay, Sharknado, that was greenlit. What the fuck? I mean, Sharknado. We live in a world where Sharknado is like, what the fuck? And it makes fucking, in my opinion, makes Human Centipede look more calmer than fucking that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not a fan
Have you
of the
seen
humor.
Mr. Tusk? Fucking shit, dude.
I told him about
Have you
Tusk.
seen that? It's almost like
No, I
human.
haven't.
It's almost like Human Centipede, but this motherfucker turns a dude into a walrus out of human flesh.
Oh,
Yeah, this is what I was telling you about at the movie theater.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
This dude gets exactly what he deserves, and I'm super shocked that they got Johnny Depp to become the detective.
I told him, I don't know if I've ever told you, there was actually an interview that Kevin Smith, the director,
Yeah.
he flat out said that he was wanting to get another actor, but he couldn't get him, so he got Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp's like, maybe a little busy around this time, but I'll let you know in a couple weeks. A couple days later, he's like, yeah, I can be a part of it. So he sits down in the fucking makeup room, right? And he wore a fake prosthetic nose on his face. And Kevin Smith comes in, and Johnny's like, hey, Kevin, what do you think? He's like, damn, that actually looks pretty good. It's not that bad. And he's like, no. If you turn it to the side, it looks like a penis, doesn't it? It's like, let's throw a little vein right here. Maybe make it look like it's hard. Like, oh, God damn.
Jesus fucking Christ. If I'm correct, the funniest part about it is that they made this movie not from a regular concept. They were literally drunk, and they were like, hey, they were drunk or something. They were drunk or high or whatever.
More likely high, knowing Kevin
One
Smith.
of the things, one of the outcomes, they were high or something, and they were like, you know what would be a great fucking movie? A different version of Human Centipede. And he's like, I got it. A fucking walrus. And they're like, fuck it. And they did it. Just bugged them because they actually remembered the idea whenever they were done. And they're like, we got to make this movie.
Didn't Rob Zombie? No, I'm thinking of the Human Fish Man. Never mind.
Fish Boy.
Fish Boy.
Yeah, that's on House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
That's House of a Thousand.
Okay, House of a Thousand Corpses. That was really fucking good at the time.
It was good at the
Granted,
time.
it's still...
Now when you watch it, it's like...
What the... Hey, another another extended...
Rob Zombie.
music
Good
video.
job.
Yeah.
But, like, it's still good.
Devil's Rejects? Yes. 3 from Hell?
Yeah.
Okay, 3 from Hell, it had its high points, but it was the weakest one out of the 3.
Yep.
Just because, the fact that they had to continue without Captain Spaulding.
Yeah. Because he passed away.
Yeah, that was sad.
I don't know what happened with that one.
I believe he had a heart attack and died.
But still, that was the series. The series I do love. I love Rob Zombie as a director. He's a really good director. And matter of fact, that's why I'm hoping that with his new movie that he's going to make.
What's he making? Is it
He's
another one?
He's making a live action Monsters movie.
Yeah.
Monsters?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I'm excited for that shit, bro.
The Monsters?
Yeah, and he's actually going to put the Monsters mobile in that fucking car. In that fucking
That's
movie.
insane!
He owns that one and Dracula.
Oh my
Like,
god!
That's awesome. But still, he's making a live action Monsters film.
Is it going to be a show or is it going to be a movie?
No, it's a movie.
Okay.
I'm excited for the fucking Monsters. I grew up on them. I love the Addams Family movies. I do. And the series, it was good, but I was more of a Monsters fan. Get the fuck! Good fuck. It's coffee. But still, watch the cord. But still, they're the Monsters will always hold a fucking special place in my fucking heart. It will hold a special place in my heart. I love the Monsters.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I kind of saw that coming at some point. I did.
The Monsters movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
Still, hell, if it was on Netflix, I'd still watch the shit out of that fucking series.
I watched little bits and pieces of it, but I never finished the Monsters.
Oh, I loved it.
It was cool. I love the concept.
You own the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you mind letting me borrow that sometime?
No, I don't like borrowing people's movies that much anymore.
I'll bring it over.
They get stuck in that thing.
Yeah, with my Game of Thrones and porn.
Oh my
god. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I don't want to pass up the 90s without mentioning one more thing.
What's that?
Blair Witch Project.
Okay, that was ahead of it. That was amazing, bro. Wow, the one time I actually saw him on his knees.
I know, it's a change of pace, huh?
Okay, the Blair Witch Project, that was fucking out of nowhere at the time. And the fact that they kept everything under wraps, like, they didn't
do any trailers.
They didn't do any trailers.
Nothing. They made sure that all the actors in there didn't say shit.
And went missing for like a couple days and everything.
They were gone.
And the fact that the fucking police were, like, the law was like, okay, find this director and fucking arrest him for keeping evidence and making a movie out of it. Get this guy. And then
How dare you?
And he's like, whoa, it's just a movie, Look, these people are real. They're alive.
Yeah. Did you
know what I find
hear
funny?
how long it took? Did you hear? I'm sorry, my bad.
Oh, no, you're good.
Did you hear how long it took for them to actually come for a Comic-Con? Like, all three of them together, finally, publicly? 10 years after.
10 years?
Yes.
Holy shit, why?
10, they just decided. It was a big old announcement somewhere between 2009 and 13, somewhere in that year range, that they just made an appearance. Everyone was freaking out. Y'all didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they freaked everyone out publicly. That they were like, oh, okay, some of us didn't know you were alive. And this one we're like, we had our suspicions, but they were raising so many questions. But yeah, Blair Witch Project.
Okay, Blair Witch Project.
Hey, guess who's not dead?
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project, absolutely amazing film. The sequel that came out in 2016, garbage. I mean, I did like the concept of it, like, he believes his sister's still alive, shit like that. But it failed to deliver. It really failed to deliver, in my opinion. And then the fact that they made a video game about that. It wasn't a bad video game. It wasn't bad. But, like, the ending's like, what the fuck, really?
It tripped me out how they first called it The Woods, and then they released it as Blair Witch.
Speaking of video games, they should really make a series, like a live-action series like Netflix or some shit. They should do a Twisted Metal.
They are doing a Twisted Metal, and I do not like the fucking script they have.
Really?
Yes. They're not even following the original concept of the game. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get...
No, you're good.
Like,
I think I set them off.
Okay, for people who do not know, Twisted Metal is a goddamn video game series that is based on a tournament. A tournament where they drive their cars and kill each other. Basically death race, but instead of racing, they're driving around causing carnage and trying to kill each other to the last man standing. There's multiple fucking levels that you have to go through, and once you get done, you meet the creator of the fucking contest and fucking get one wish, but he will screw you over eventually, but you still get the fucking wish. Now, if you're doing Twisted Metal Black version, you get your wish in the most sadistic and twisted, evil fucking way that I love. But in the old games, you got fucking screwed over. And the recent game, you get screwed over. The script that they have, all right, it's not even a tournament. It's not even a tournament. It's basically following fucking Fallout New Vegas style, where you're a fucking delivery boy having to deliver over a post-apocalyptic fucking world and the world in between is ruled by a gang of Sweet Tooth.
Oh.
And Sweet Tooth is being voiced by Will Arnett.
Sweet Tooth is the bad guy?
Sweet Tooth has always been a bad guy. He's a
but he's the bad guy in this movie?
Yes. Like, it's like, oh my fucking fuck.
Damn.
Like,
what's that one game with Jack Black?
I could queef a fucking better script than that.
Damn.
Can you put this one back up, brother?
That was basically the one I had anyway.
But like,
What's
that one's not really a horror game. That's more of a action comedy game.
I know, but what's it called?
Brutal Legend.
Yeah, Brutal Legend. That's the one. That's the one I was talking about. I didn't mean to say Twisted Metal.
But like, no, like, god damn. Oh, you got my blood pumping. Hang on. Okay, Silent Hill, the movie.
Loved it.
Absolutely loved it. I fucking love every single second of it. Resident Evil movies. The first one was good. Second one was good. Third one, meh. And then it kind of went downhill afterwards, in my opinion.
I liked all of it.
I mean, I still like them. I'll still watch them. But I'm like, you're not really following the main real story. Like if you're gonna make a video game, if you're gonna make a movie based on a video game, granted, I do see where you're going with it, like a different direction, introducing new characters in the same universe. But like, if you're gonna make a video game based on a video game, granted, I do see where you're going with it, like a different direction, introducing new characters in the same universe. But like, if you're gonna make a movie based on a video game, granted, I do see where you're going with it, like a different direction, introducing new characters in the same universe. But the reason why we fall in love with characters or the games is because of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Leon Kennedy, we fell in love with him during fucking Resident Evil 4. And we fell in love with fucking Jill Valentine during the first and third game.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you fucking don't introduce them as the main characters, that kind of pisses a lot of fans off.
True. And then you have the Revelation.
Yeah.
Right after.
Yeah.
And then movies like Doom.
Don't even get me started on Doom.
Damn Doom.
What the fuck were y'all thinking? Oh, the games are still badass though.
I don't know, they're kind of boring to me. It's kind of repetitive. The new ones, except for Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal's fun. Then the
2016 one, I like that one.
2016 one, I didn't. It's repetitive.
Well, I mean, like all the Doom games are almost repetitive.
They are, but that one was especially repetitive. It was more repetitive. It was more repetitive than it needed to be than the other games.
You know what? We brought up Stephen King, and there is something that we overpassed that I really want to mention because that was like a while back ago.
Get the fuck out of the front!
I want to talk about The Mist.
Okay,
That's a good one.
That was underrated. The twist, holy fuck!
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hated that fucking biblical fucking bit. Like, you're doing a good job when your character that everyone's supposed to hate really fucking hates you.
Did you know the creatures from the mist, where they come out of?
Good.
You know where they come out of? The fucking military facility and stuff where they were trying to fuck around and they open a portal up on that mountain and cause the mist to come in. You know that's the Macroverse, right? That's where Pennywise came from.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
That's his world. That's the creatures and wildlife from his world.
Dude, I fucking cried like a little bitch whenever he just gets out of his fucking car like, come at me.
And then it's a fucking tank. It's like, you fuckers!
There's a theory behind that, right? So in the previous scene, I'll probably hate my friend saying this. So in the previous scene in the movie, where they're all in the diner and they all split, and one faction's like they want to sacrifice, and they choose his son. They want to sacrifice his son to the creatures out there, and maybe they'll go away. And they say no, and they don't do it. Yet the creatures stick around and start killing everybody up until he shoots his son. And he kills his wife and his son, and then when he gets out, the creatures disappear.
The creatures just start dying.
Damn.
I mean, but at the end of the movie, you see the military mowing down some creatures.
That's
True, but it's that was the ongoing theories. Like maybe maybe it actually needed a sacrifice, and there's big speculation over that.
That's a good one.
So
Maybe the son really did need to die. I mean, he died, but
yeah.
But then you got he knows. Then you got the cheesy hilarity horror films that. What the fuck were they thinking? But I'm glad they were thinking that in the first place.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus
I
Evil.
fucking love that movie.
Reanimator.
There's a bunch of fucking hormoned teenagers jumping headfirst in the wood chipper.
Got a doozy of the day.
Real doozy. Then you got Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
Shaun of the Dead's a good one. Fucking what movie did you just say? I just forgot it. After Tucker and Dale.
Oh.
Reanimator.
Yeah, I said Reanimator.
Reanimator was not really a comedy horror, in my opinion. It was just
It had a head giving head.
No, that was just a director's choice. So the Reanimator itself is actually based off a Lovecraftian story. It's a Lovecraftian story. That's actually Eldritch and shit.
Which that brings me to my next point. I want them to make a Cthulhu horror-esque movie.
The Thing.
That'd be cool. What?
The Thing.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I want them to actually have Cthulhu.
Well, no, it's Eldritch horror is the hardest horror in my opinion to do, right up next to psychological horror.
Mhm.
It being that anytime you read any Eldritch horror literature or the Lovecraft stories and everything like that, the way that they're described on paper, you can get away with because it leaves it up to the imagination. It's you describe this thing as the ugliest thing that you can imagine with hundreds of thousands of tentacles and everything, and it's hard to animate or put that into something that you can visibly see because that's half the horror aspect, because it leaves it up to the reader. it's something incomprehensible, and that's why when anybody who looks like Cthulhu goes insane because they can't comprehend something of this magnitude.
Yep.
That's why the original Thing,
Best thing ever.
as crazy as it was, a lot of readers didn't like it. It didn't live up to the hype of how it was described on paper.
But ultimately, it became a fucking cult classic.
True, but
The Thing,
And then the remake of the Thing.
I like both.
her.
Okay, I like. I mean, it was a good prequel. It was a good prequel, but like this, the fact they went with a crappy ass CG over the practical effects made the fucking original a classic.
True. And nowadays that's a very hard balance to find now, unfortunately, is a hard balance of what's too much CGI or not enough.
You see, I believe that the remake or the prequel remake of the Thing falls under a very small category I have. Very bad remakes that miss the mark so large. Like like number one on that fucking remake countdown, he'll agree, Nightmare on Elm Street.
This goes back to a conversation we were having the other night about a lot of movies, not just necessarily horror and stuff, where if you're trying to remake something or you have a really great movie and it hit the mark, it was amazing, and then try to do sequels or things in that universe and everything, a lot of directors and screenwriters fuck up is they don't quite understand what the root of that story needs to be. A good example is like if any of y'all seen the Ocean's 11 movies.
Nope, only heard of it.
It's like a heist movie. It's real twist, everything. It's like real intricate heist, thieving and stuff. So it's like a big, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. The first, second, and third went off without a hitch. Well, they recently did, I believe it was in about 2016, they did a revamp. It was all female cast. It was called Ocean's 8. And it was basically in the same world, but it was different crew, family, so to speak. And they tried to do it, and they missed that central role of the whole, bringing of it was at the end you got to see the heist unfold, and it was stuff you wouldn't think of, and it's all pleasing. And they didn't do that, and then the movie flopped, and then they blamed it on other stuff. But it's even so in horror, like Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street did so good because it had that central fear in the midst of it being a dream.
That shit always fucks my head up when they explain it. It's like it all goes back to the very beginning. I'm like, fucking what? I'm like, this bitch was taken in place since the beginning of the fucking movie.
It's finding a happy balance. And
It's like, how did a sandwich have to do with the plot?
The Friday the 13th remake was a good example of doing it right, where you had the original movie that didn't involve Jason, but then Jason became this iconic role. So how do you make a remake but still hold true to that root and follow the story properly? And
Start off with panel where he's getting her head fucking cut off, and then flashing forward to when Jason's fucking basically The Rock.
And that's just the beginning of the movie.
Y'all heard that Nightmare on Elm Street was also based on something real.
Yes.
Okay.
It was based off a case in Colorado, I believe, where 3 teenagers.
Japan.
Was it Japan?
It was Japan. The story was that like this one kid just did not want to sleep. He did not want to sleep. He just thought he was going to die. But his parents are like, "You're not going to fucking die." And his parents were like actually pharmacists. They actually gave him sleeping pills to help him sleep. And every day he would he would just like not sleep like at all. He would like just doze off. But like never really fall asleep until one night he actually fell asleep and his parents heard him screaming. They ran in there. They saw him shaking and everything, and all of a sudden they would check his pulse, dead. But whenever they checked his pulse, they actually bumped into something. They opened up a cabinet that had a fucking 2 coffee makers that were on with a damn extension cord plugged in, and it had coffee and all the sleeping pills in just one little tub.
And he had scratch marks. So.
He had scratch marks and everything.
Yep.
That's scary shit if you think about it.
It's based off of they based Freddy Krueger almost off of a certain yokai. It's a monster that eats your dreams, and then if they eat too much and take too much, they actually give you nightmares and they kill you. If a starving certain type of yokai, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a monster that like literally just eats your dreams. And if it's like stupid fucking hungry, because that's why there's a lot of people when like it's an explanation for them for like when you sleep and you don't dream. That's why.
Yeah. Got a comment from a bear cave. Well, I know who the fuck you is. It says, I believe that CGI should be a tool used to enhance practical effects. And From Beyond was another Lovecraft story and the same thing as the Reanimator.
Yes.
Tell them shit that we already fucking know.
But I want an H.P. Lovecraft movie that actually has Cthulhu in it, is what I'm saying. I want the Arbogwas.
Well, this is what's interesting that a lot of people don't know. So the most popular Lovecraftian character, obviously, is Cthulhu. For whatever reason, mostly because of one of his most popular books, which is Call of Cthulhu, which is a good book, by the way, if y'all want to read it.
They're also making a video game about it.
But there's so many... Cthulhu in this hierarchy of eldritch beings is actually very low. And on a scale of 1 to 10, Cthulhu is about a 3. And it goes all the way up from there. And there's way bigger, like, multiversal threats of cosmic horrors all the way up from, like, Azeroth.
Like, I can't remember his name, but it's this giant fucking mass of just nothing but mouths, teeth, and shit. And they had all the there's a bunch of gods over there that have to run around. They have to play these instruments to keep them the fuck to sleep.
Yeah. Well, there's a Yog-Sothoth, I believe. I could be wrong. But basically, Yog-Sothoth, all these eldritch beings have to make sure that Azathoth doesn't wake up. He's the primordial being, the god. Our universe as itself, along with these eldritch beings, exists within his dream. When Azathoth wakes up, the universe ends. Instant. But there have been instances throughout Lovecraft literature that they've summoned small avatars, embodiments of Azathoth. Because by comparison, Azathoth is the greatest being, so to speak. Yet Yog-Sothoth, I believe it's Yog-Sothoth, he's basically the great deceiver. He controls time, he can manipulate time, he can do amazing things. He's probably the second, and he's the most mysterious.
Yep.
But long story short, it's funny you mentioned that because there's so many other players in this.
That's
big
what I'm
chess
saying. I
game
want a movie like that explains deep into the mythology of Cthulhu, of H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft needs to be, as its essence, a psychological horror because in its essence, it's always been that. And those are the hardest movies to make.
I wanted to bring that up too because I was going to mention, Brendan just mentioned another interesting genre, and I was going to ask y'all, do y'all have any favorite psychological horror films? So mine, I'll just throw mine out there. One of my favorite one, for example, is called High Tension.
I have not seen that.
I have not seen that.
What's it about?
So this was a non-American film, but made it to the States anyways. They brought it back in English to the theaters. Succeeded very well. It was about this American and non-American two female friends, and they go out to the countryside, and there's this man who just comes to the house and starts slaying the family, and he kidnaps the non-American friend, and the friend it literally shows her on purpose in so many ways that she's a lesbian. She's obviously the lesbian friend who obviously is in love with her straight non-American friend. They make that so bluntly obvious. And I guess for good reason. And it is going to be a spoiler, but I feel like that's the only way that I'm going to have to explain this film. So in the end, when this killer kidnaps the friend, she's following him, and it's just a whole series of revenge on trying to stalk the killer while the killer is killing other people. And so in the end, we end up finding out that this male killer ended up being the female killer the entire time, killing her own friend. And she made a threat to her that if she did not fall in love with her in the end, she would kill her. And in the end, the friend said no and killed her lesbian friend.
So almost like that kind of sounds like almost like somewhat of a plot.
But the whole time we were seeing a male the killer.
Yeah, I'm about to say maybe a sleepaway camp.
I was gonna bring that up. I was.
Sleepaway Camp was like, what the fuck? But like, it still got me at the fucking twist. And like, what?
You know it's a really psychological fuck up, even though the movie itself was kind of poop. 47 meters down. Have you seen what happened? It's a fucking shark movie, and they tried to do it better. They said it was going to be quote unquote better than Jaws, which it wasn't. It's just the only thing
made the Meg look better than Jaws.
The only thing that was good about that movie was the ending. It's about these two chicks that get sunk down to the bottom because their chain breaks out of their shark cage thing, so they sink all the way down. There's a bunch of great whites and shit, and they're really fucking hungry, and they're trying to eat them, right? And they're like, all right, you need to, whatever you do, you need to keep your oxygen at max oxygen, because the lower your oxygen runs out, the more you'll start to hallucinate, the more you'll start to get fucked up, and you'll eventually die from it. So they make it a priority to do that. Her sister ends up trying to make a break for it, and she gets really badly fucking injured. And so she's like, okay, I gotta save this chick right now. So she grabs her sister and makes a break for it within the movie, and she's getting chased by sharks. She's using flares to back them off. And she gets up onto the boat, and it's like, oh, wow, that's crazy. She gets attacked by a shark, dragged back underwater, ends up beating the shit out of the shark by punching its eye, swing back up, gets on the boat. She's like, I did it. And then all of a sudden you just hear them calling her name. You hear, Lois, 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 can you hear me? Lois, can you hear me? She's like, what do you mean? I'm right here. And then all of a sudden it breaks. And she's back down in the cage holding her dead sister's corpse. Because it turns out she was hallucinating that whole fucking time. Because her oxygen ran low. You find out that at the very end of the movie that her oxygen ran low. She hallucinated her saving her sister and getting out there alive. But they both die at the end. It is such a big mind fuck. It was so good.
Psychological horror.
It was
here
so
recently, so fucking underrated.
Mm.
The Lighthouse.
Yes!
I have not seen
That was... I changed my answer. To that.
I love the fact that it was black and white.
Yeah.
There's only like 3 cast members of the whole thing. It's done in one location, and it's more or less.
It could almost be a one-act play, right?
You could make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's essentially you have Robert Pattinson's character, and you have William Dafoe's character. William Dafoe.
I'm sorry. It's that.
Continue.
Willem Dafoe plays like an old Navy officer, and he's stationed on a lighthouse. And Robert Pattinson's character is a new person sent to the lighthouse.
So glad you brought that up.
So on the lighthouse, it's just them two, and it's basically more or less the whole movie because of them two, and they start fighting amongst each other, and it's really poor conditions. It's basically the slow decline of Robert Pattinson's mind being isolated, sexually frustrated, cold, and just angry and everything. And he starts basically like hallucinating, eating strange shit, fighting. There's a scene in the movie where he actually thinks he sees a mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's out there. Yeah, but it's beautiful. And at the very end, he essentially becomes obsessed with the top of the lighthouse. Essentially, only Willem Dafoe's character is allowed up there, and that's actually where the spinning light is. And basically, it's that obsession over years. Yeah. And then they end up getting trapped there longer because of this big hurricane in the ocean offset, and it's amazing.
And they put a I wouldn't say supernatural aspect, right? It's not.
In itself, the movie isn't supernatural. The only thing out there, more fantasy, is just him hallucinating a mermaid. Essentially, in his slow decline of his mind, he not only finds a mermaid, and that's where the sexual frustration comes into play, and he basically, quote unquote, fucks a mermaid.
But nobody knows what he actually fucked.
Well, no, he doesn't even know. He basically he finds a figurine of a mermaid, and that's what he used, because this is all based in like 1920.
Right.
So yeah, he has this figurine of a mermaid that's what he ends up masturbating to.
But he blames him for the storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Bear Cave says my favorite psychological horror has to be the ultimate classic of the genre, Psycho.
Psycho or American Psycho?
Psycho. Like
Norman Bates.
Yeah, Norman Bates.
Okay.
That Psycho was good, but American Psycho.
second cycle is my favorite.
Oh, jeez.
I got two more though, a little obscure. One of them, touching back to that's a good Stephen King one. Geralt's Game.
Oh shit.
I've actually never seen that. No.
More or less. So, husband and wife, they're having marital problems. He's always on business. She, it's a whole bunch of deal. So, husband wanting to fix things, basically rents out a secluded cabin off in the middle of nowhere, and he brings her out there to have like a romantic getaway, right? Doesn't tell nobody, and they go out there. Well, they start to get freaky and everything, and she gets handcuffed to the bed and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's handcuffed to the bed, and right in the midst of it, he has a heart attack and dies.
Mhm.
Corpse falls on top of her. She can't get loose, and so it's basically her slow decline of being, strapped to the bed and not being able to do anything and everything. Like, there's a whole bunch of other weird shit that happens. Like, a dog ends up breaking in and starts eating the corpse of her husband. Like, it's crazy.
It sounds familiar now.
Holy
It
shit.
sounds
It's
familiar.
great. It's on Netflix, I think.
Oh my god.
Really, really good movie. Good psychological horror. And then last. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think that's one of those movies where you've seen bits and pieces of it throughout the years, and you just never fully watch it.
Yeah.
I think that's what that movie is for me. That sounds familiar. That one scene about the dog.
Mhm.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it was one of those like, oh fuck scenes. Like, you didn't expect that to be in a movie.
Cujo,
The last
what are you
one
doing?
is a very underrated one that a lot of people don't give a lot of credit to. Jim Carrey, the number 23.
I
Dude!
know, fuck.
Yeah.
That movie fucks with me so bad, dude.
I love that.
I'm
movie.
terrified of that movie.
What?
That movie scares me,
The
dude.
movie's a trip.
It is such a trip. It's such a
The
mind
ending
fuck.
was like, okay, but still the movie was overall good.
No, it was amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's no spoilers on that one though. I encourage anybody watching to go see that for themselves. It's a great movie. Jim Carrey's finest.
It's almost like that one episode from Love, Death, and Robots. I talked to you about this.
Yeah.
It's about this dude. They're up in this spaceship, and they're trying to get back to Earth because they just went on this excavation, and they found another planet with life on it, so that way they could evacuate everybody to that planet because the Earth is about to fucking just bite the bullet. So this dude wakes up, and he's the only one awake. Everybody else is still in cryo sleep, and he's minding his own business. He finds out there's this chick who's also awake, and he's like, oh, hey, cool, wow. And they end up starting to run the whole ship together. They end up having a good time. They end up falling in love and shit. And later on than the thing, he ends up realizing that these guys should be awake by now, and they haven't been moving at all. Every day it's the same cycle. They go around this same fucking planet when they should be going straight to the Earth. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? And then she breaks it down to him saying that, like out of nowhere, she's like, you're not seeing everything for what it is. And he's like, what? And he's like, who even are you? Because he realizes that she wasn't even on the list. He later finds out that her name's not even on the list. He's like, who the fuck are you? And then she's like, you don't want to know. He's like, who the fuck are you? And so she breaks the hallucination, and you find out that this dude is barely alive. He's completely fucked up. He got long hair, facial hair, bloodied eyes, super skinny. He has no food in his system. All the food and shit that you find out that he was actually eating his crewmates, who are now infested. You can see their bodies just dangling from fucking webs and shit. And it turns out that girl is actually this giant spider alien looking motherfucker.
What's it called? What's this called?
It's called Love, Death, and Robots. It's a bunch of animated shorts.
On
and
Netflix.
On Netflix.
Oh,
You can
okay.
watch it on Netflix, and this is the horror one. I can't remember which episode it is. But it's such a mindfuck because this spider alien chick actually loves this dude. But she doesn't want him to die. She wants him to accept her.
Like a twisted love story.
Yeah, a very twisted love story. And then he starts screaming and freaking out, so she stings him and resets the whole thing, and he wakes up, and he's like, oh shit, yeah, we're in cryospace. Who else is all awake? And then ends.
Damn. He brought up another genre.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Alien. Space.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
The
How long you
Predator.
got?
Holy fuck.
Predator was a good one. Alien
Aliens,
was a good one.
great.
Aliens was better in my opinion. Then you get, like I said earlier, the fourth kind. That was
That one was.
Okay,
that
I know
freaked
it's
me
not
out.
really exactly a horror movie, but Ender's Game. Have you seen that movie?
Only heard of it.
It's about this boy who's really fucking smart, very tactical person. He's almost like
Futuristic
Sheldon.
society.
Yeah, futuristic society. He's almost like Sheldon, like smart. Okay, and he's a very good tactical person. And he's like, all right, we need you to. They're like some of this type of space force and stuff. They're like, we need you to go run through this simulation on defending our planet in case if Earth gets in trouble.
Well, it's so a little more backstory. This is actually based off a really big book.
Yeah.
So futuristic society. This is after a war. So essentially, this insect race basically came to Earth, and there was a big battle, and they barely survived. One ship had to sacrifice himself to blow up this big mothership, and basically we pushed them back to their planet. So they start this school for basically talented people so they could prepare themselves for the next incoming war. And so Ender gets recruited, and he starts doing his thing, and he goes through the whole school and everything, and they do simulations. So essentially him and all these other talented young kids are the crew, and they run these drones in this big, like, auditorium-sized simulation, all big LED and everything. It looks real. And they practice, like, essentially running a fleet of spaceships.
Yep.
And it keeps going on and on and on. And eventually, end of the semester, time for the big quiz. This is, like, realistic simulation, yada, yada. So, spoiler alert. They get to the end of this big simulation, and he's losing badly. And he starts, pulling out all the stops, all these sacrifices, and he ends up barely making the victory right at their home planet, and he destroys the planet. Mm-hmm. Boom, dub, right? Victory. Well, then the Harrison Ford's character basically comes to him, and he's basically like,
"Thank you for
oh my gosh, good job." And he's like, and he starts kind of like, "I just beat the simulation. Like, what's the big deal and stuff?" And there's a big silent pause, and then he puts it together. Wasn't a simulation. He was actually running a real fleet of ships with crewmates on them, and they destroyed the home planet of that insect race, who weren't even trying to fight. They were just defending their home planet. And Ender essentially slaughtered an entire
race while sacrificing thousands and thousands of humans along the way. It's a mind fuck, and he can't, like, if I'm correct, does he end up committing suicide in the books, right?
I
don't think he does in the movie.
To my knowledge, he's just like, he's just freaking out about it. It's like he's trying to live with, mass genocide on a planetary
Foreign
scale.
planet.
Like, I don't blame him one bit.
There's not that much horror extraterrestrial films out there.
There's really not. I mean, unless you want to count the comedy films, and you got like fucking killer clowns from outer space, Attack on Mars or Attack from Mars.
I feel like action claims this one.
Yeah, action really claims more aliens than anything, because like
Independence Day,
Yeah,
War of the Worlds,
Battle Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there's still some horror aliens that like Fire in the Sky. That was fucking terrifying growing up. Like, they actually showed like what it was like to actually get like fucking experimented by aliens, and you're conscious during the entire fucking thing.
That's a movie?
Yes, it's a movie.
Oh.
It's based on an actual person who actually got abducted. Like, he got abducted by aliens, and he had like a PTSD, like so much bad PTSD from it.
He wanted to make a movie out of it.
He made a book about it.
Oh.
He wrote a book about it, and then
And
the
the
book
people
turned
made
into
the
a
book.
movie.
Yeah.
Is it more of a film or like a documentary?
It's like a film.
Okay.
Like the scene, like there's a scene where he's actually like back on Earth after all the incidents shit happens, but he's having like such bad PTSD or some shit like that. He gets underneath the fucking table and like syrup spills all over him and whatnot, and he actually goes back to where he's on the alien spaceship, and he still has the syrup on his lips and everything. Like, he's like remembering everything, like scene for scene. Like, he's like floating around in the fucking alien spacecraft and whatnot, and also the aliens corner him and put him on a fucking lab table and put over like this like sheet of latex over him and suck the air out to where he's like stuck like this. They feed a hose through his fucking mouth all the way down, and they have like this big metal circle thing like right there, and he's watching them actually experiment on it, like cut him open and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's screaming through this whole ordeal like he's in pain and whatnot. It's like, that traumatized me when I was growing up. Like, it scared the holy fuck out of me. Like, I'm terrified of aliens, so if I see an alien,
I used to be afraid of the whole idea, and now I kind of embrace it. I think I'm ready now.
I think
take me
I
away!
think I'm ready
Just
now.
keep that probe away.
I invited.
Moo. Moo. Moo.
Moo, moo.
Moo. Moo.
What's wrong?
This fucking lighter, I literally just got it, but it's not one to stay
What
on.
about a piece of shit lighter?
Well, I know the problem with it. It's just
There's
I don't
a fucking
have
lighter!
any fucking pliers to fix it.
But still, like, then you also got, like, fucking other, like, ghost films, and, like, one horror film that, I mean, I say it's a horror film. One film that I honestly believe is, like, super underrated when it comes to, like, the paranormal kind of shit like that.
There's a lot.
13 Ghosts.
Oh.
I love 13 Ghosts.
I don't know a lot of people that don't like that movie.
Like, I fucking adore that movie so damn much. It was so good. I'm a huge Matthew Lillard fan, and that's one of his best works other than Scooby-Doo and fucking Scream.
Do you have a favorite ghost in that movie?
Normally, if the perv of me says the chick with the tits, but the Jackal.
The Jackal.
The Jackal. I have to go with the Jackal. That's the one with the fucking metal cage around his head.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that one of the big fucking...
No?
No.
Oh, he's never seen it.
I haven't. But that's like yeah, I do have it. But no, there's this one guy, super fucking scary. He has like fucking railroad spikes coming out of his fucking body. He's like a big, buff, jacked, black guy.
The Hammer.
The Hammer. Like, he carries like a giant sledgehammer and everything. Fucking, he has fucking railroad spikes that fucking big coming out of his head, neck, body, everywhere.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck?
So the one that actually traumatized me when that movie first came out was the out of all of them, very surprisingly, was the ghost that was half and half. The one that was on the floor crawling in plastic.
Yeah.
That one.
That also traumatized me a little bit because I'm not a fan of like whenever it's like a horror movie like wrapping people like fucking saran wrap or some shit like that because that's like a horrible like suffocating to death. Yeah. That's horrible in my opinion. Like I can't.
What are you doing? I saw you die.
No,
I was faking
whole story and plotline behind
using
that
my
to open-
ninja skills to slow down my heart rate.
What was he trying to do?
What are you doing? I'm burying you.
Like open up like
Still
a
alive.
like
The Eye of Hell.
the Eye of Hell. Yeah. That was a good like hell. There's fans of that movie that's actually trying to push Netflix into making a mini-series following like
The ghosts?
Oh, like going the details behind the ghosts and like how they captured them and everything.
Yep. So they do have background stories.
Yeah, they do have background stories, but they want to see it like
Careful
on
with
the
that
screen.
ink. It is
Live action.
flammable.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I would love to see that. I mean, the big titty. I'm sorry.
The Angry Princess.
Yeah, fucking. I'm sorry, but like the 10-year-old me. Yeah. It doesn't matter if they were cut up or anything. Fucking yeah. But then you got like. Okay, let's talk about horror movies that absolutely like what the absolute fuck were they thinking? Like the Attack of Killer Tomatoes.
That's a real one.
That's a
What's
real
that
one.
What's that
Oh.
one where it's like the ball of fur and they're literally balls of fur, but they have teeth?
Critters.
I think so. And like, what the fuck?
Critters was just a Gremlins knockoff.
The leprechaun.
Okay, don't jump. I like the Leprechaun. Okay, there's some Leprechaun films that absolutely will.
After the first one, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Leprechaun in the Hood.
No.
Come on.
That one was funny as hell.
Leprechaun in the Hood. Fucking the second one. Oh my god.
Did you know there's a rumor about a Leprechaun versus Chucky?
There was a rumor for that, yeah.
Chucky.
But there was also a rumor for fucking Terminator versus Predator.
I think the Predator would win in the end game.
Well,
He could probably stand up to one-on-one, but like a fucking
Yeah, but
fleet, no.
Yeah, but think about it. It'd be Arnold versus Predator round 2. Just a different arm. But no. Then there's talks about them doing it.
You better be like,
There's
you are one
finally
ugly
about them
motherfucker.
possibly doing another Freddy versus Jason, which honestly, I'm really, really, really afraid for.
Yeah.
I'm really scared for that. There's a lot of horror movie verses that they're wanting to do. Like, I mean, there's fans that are wanting fucking Jason versus Michael Myers. Jason would whip Michael Myers' ass like that.
Yeah,
It's hard.
it's like Michael Myers is strong, but Jason is like
now, if
break
you're
the door just by walking
But
into
Michael,
it strong.
but Michael is taller.
Michael is taller, but here's the thing. Jason's undead.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Michael, he's just, if we're talking about like old school Michael Myers, he's just possessed. That's it.
You brought up the subject of ghosts and the supernatural, but I can't bring up that genre without bringing up one thing, one little series that people either love to death, huge fan of, or they fucking hate it so much. Paranormal Activity.
Oh my god.
So,
So
See,
love
that's
their
why I
relationship.
say live action films are so easy to fucking
I
make.
have to give credit to where credit's due from the first Paranormal Activity, because without the first, there'd never been the second. Because obviously the second was, I think, in my opinion, the best. Then it's probably the fourth, third, and then first.
The marked ones.
That was the
The
fourth?
no, fifth
Fifth.
one. The one with the Mexican, like the Latino.
The fucking parodies of those. Tell him the dog is white. Tell him the dog is
Yeah, that's
Fucking haunted house is hilarious, bro. Dude, quit yelling! You're making me mad. I don't give a
white.
What happened to your furniture, cuz?
I fucking love
I actually like that movie.
Which one was the one with Gabriel Iglesias where they kill the possessed chicken and make wings out of it?
That was haunted house too.
Yeah, that one's funny as shit.
I know it's
They're just like, cheers.
Yeah, they actually have Gabriel Iglesias in that one.
Yeah, they
I love-
fucking
I love
kill.
it.
They kill a possessed chicken.
No, they kill a chicken so they can use the blood to like make a ritual or some shit like that. And the chicken's like kicking both their asses.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they make fried chicken at the end. Like, right
They
on,
make
brother.
wings. Right on, brother. It's funny as shit.
But then, okay, but here's let's see, Paranormal Activity. I love, but also hate at the same time. I love them because yes, they were good. I like them, but whenever after like 2, they kind of went downhill for a little while until they got to the marked ones.
It becomes
Yeah.
repetitive.
Yeah.
That's we're going back to like doing a sequel to something. It's like, how do you stay true to that root of what that movie needs to be about to keep it that drove them in the first place, but still make it a original concept that still is equally interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's hard.
And I know that it had the same effect like Blair Witch, right? Like in the beginning, and then after a while, people were like, "Oh, okay, so this is fake."
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
know it was real.
So
Yeah.
that was a thing too.
But like,
I did love how they tied it in the third one, I think.
You know,
Where they bring back the original girl.
Yeah.
They take the baby away. I think it's the third one. I'm not sure.
And then
Well, no, the second one was the one where they brought the second one is where at the end they brought the chick from the first one.
You
You
took the baby.
the
Yeah,
time,
the second one.
the time
Do you know-
frame in all those films is so mixed, and then you come to find out, oh, okay, so this is just a coven and the grandmother and a whole ritual.
Yeah.
All that. Okay.
It's crazy.
you know, it's such a fucking tease. The new Pet Cemetery that came out.
I have not seen the new one
Don't even
It-
watch
it's
it.
not-
Don't
because
it's
even
I hear
watch
mixed
it.
reviews
It's
about
not,
it,
yeah.
and I haven't had the I don't have any platform to watch it on.
It's not. It's
Don't
not
even
worth
watch
it.
it.
It's not worth it.
I love it.
It's not.
They fucking tease it because in the books, everybody knows that the main reason why the Pet Cemetery is happening in the first place is because it's a curse of the Wendigo. In the movie, you see the Wendigo, but only for like a second, and it's a silhouette of him. You don't even see him.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
That's
You're
like
supposed-
That's like the Slender Man movie.
We talked about that.
You
earlier.
only see Slender Man for like, I think, 13 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Oh.
The whole movie is them just doing creepy research on the Slender Man, and then it's 30 minutes of the Slender Man actually killing them.
What do you think is the most underrated genre of horror? Like film wise? I would go as far as say psychological. Because it's so hard to pull off. It's either you hit it or you don't.
Yeah.
Slasher is very easy to get away with that.
Slasher's like what made horror like
Yeah.
so fucking popular.
It's a pretty straightforward concept. And then you have like monsters, and then of course the aliens and stuff. You know, again, those are pretty. I don't want to go as far as say easy to make, but it's a pretty general idea. But psychological, I think, is hard to make because that's what Silent Hill originally was. It was based off games, And those games were a psychological horror game, and it was to contest Resident Evil that was just coming out, and that was just a tried and true zombie game, horror zombie game.
Mm-hmm.
So at Silent Hill, it's all psychological. It's you're basically seeing through the veil of this
I see the
town that just has these holes between that ghost dimension and stuff, and you're seeing the aspects like they spent a stupid amount of money on a team to research basically the idea for Pyramid Head, and they went through dozens of designs for him because they wanted to find something, all of his characteristics to be as scary as can be. It's like, what's so terrifying? And this is the embodiment of these are the beings in your mind psychologically that hunt you down and kill you. These are the judgmenteers, so to speak. And then you have that Pyramid Head, no face, no identity, no sounds, and there's never-ending amounts of, and again, they chase you. They're just, and even in the movie, they did a great job at embodying Pyramid Head.
God, I love Akira Yamaoka's music. I just love it so much. I love it so much.
I'm probably gonna get so much shit for this, but I honestly believe that the zombie genre is dying.
Mine would be werewolf.
Yeah.
Makes me
It
sad.
died a
too.
long time ago. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
It's been a while since somebody's done a strictly werewolf movie
Well, I mean,
in a horror genre.
I hate to say it. The closest thing we're gonna get to a werewolf movie is the remake that they're doing of the American Werewolf in London.
Which a lot of people are like, yo, what? People are like,
In my opinion, they need to do a really good job on this, or it's officially dead.
Yeah, come on. It's okay that your kind movies is dying.
Well, no, it's
damn.
it's like this. It's
He's a dog.
in the monster category. There's always been like a big three. That's werewolves, vampires, and undead.
Yeah.
That's always been like the good trio of these monster movies.
Mhm.
That's why like Frankenstein's a hit, Dracula, Van Helsing,
Here we go,
movies
back
like
to
that.
the beginning.
Yeah, they're
Full
talking
circle,
about
full
it.
circle.
I apologize, but it's in any case, it's all based in a level of horror. It's something that scares you. That's the whole basis. A lot of people miss. It's like horror. It's all based on what scares you. People are afraid of the let's go for category like vampire. Vampires are beautiful. They're flawless. They're seductive. They're perfect. They're incredibly intelligent, and they seduce. That's one of their big things, both women and men. And goes back to a fear. It's from a man's perspective. It's you don't want your woman or your significant other to be seduced, especially in the event to die. And you don't have control over that, and that's what makes it scary because it's this being that can very easily kill you.
Yep.
And then same thing like a werewolf and stuff. It's that werewolf curse. It's even you could be a werewolf and you could love this person to death, but once you transform, you're not in control to protect that person.
Matter of
And
fact,
that's a
you
fear.
are not in control at all, and you could wake up knowing that you just fucking killed the love of your life because you turned into a fucking monster.
It's a very primal fear of not being in control.
Yeah.
Especially protecting those around you.
The last time I've seen werewolf was when it comes to werewolf, there's only two things that pop in my head the last time I seen one. The 2005 movie Cursed and Annabelle Comes Home. Little spiff of if any of y'all seen those. I know we feel kind of differently with Annabelle and James Wan right now, but part 3 and Annabelle had this little thing in it of a werewolf, a hellhound or something. You know?
Yeah.
Well, last time I saw a werewolf in anything was 2 films. Was that Trick or Treat?
Yeah.
Wait.
Although
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Trick or
right.
Treat, and then that.
I like the small kid.
That yeah,
child.
Sam.
Mhm.
Then there was that one movie with Del Toro, Benicio del Toro, the Wolfman, or something like that.
It's
What?
That one was actually really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro was the Wolfman.
It's actually really
What year
good.
did this come out?
I think it came out in early 2010, early 2010s.
Okay. Okay. I know which one you're talking about. Never got to see it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
And then maybe Red Riding.
Yeah.
Red Riding
Which
Hood's
was
awesome. It's so
disappointing.
underrated.
It was disappointing in a sense, though.
It was.
It's hard to do a werewolf movie, and I don't blame anybody for not hitting a nail on the head.
Yeah.
Because it's not only do you have to come up with a genuinely scary functional werewolf to do in the movie, it's how do you make a plot around that? How do you build a story around that?
A good one, a decent one.
Like,
Yep.
That hits true to that horror that scares you.
But like I was saying earlier, like I honestly believe the zombie genre is dying. Like dying.
Zombie genre is not dying.
No, it is kind of.
fine.
I'm saying it's dying for three reasons. One, whenever you see a zombie movie nowadays, it has to be a fucking comedy. Like I blame Shaun of the Dead for that. I mean, I love.
What's that one movie that came out that I really wanted to see? It's the teacher. She's taking the kids on a school field trip, and it just so happens to be the outbreak of the zombie apocalypse.
I know what you're talking about, but I forgot what it's called.
It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, but like you see that like the zombie films are now just fucking comedies now. You know, you got like Zombieland 1 and 2.
Mhm.
You got fucking Warm Bodies, which is like okay, it's a good twist, but like it's not.
I think the last serious zombie movie that I've ever seen
then there was one
World War Z, which flopped.
Don't even fucking get me started.
I know, but I'm
not
saying-
a fucking real zombie
I'm
film.
saying that was the last attempt of a serious zombie movie. The last one that I've seen anyway.
That was the last serious fucking try, but it was. Oh.
It's based off one of the greatest zombie novels of all time, which is the actual World War Z.
Yep.
And me and my Uncle Johnny had this specific talk about it because he loves that book. And they didn't hold true to the book, and that's why it initially flopped.
And those are not real zombies, in my opinion. Those are not real fucking zombies. That you actually got to my number 2. Number 3, I also blame The Walking Dead. I blame The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is so fucking stupid.
Exactly. Like it
I
was
watched
good when
it-
it first started. It was
yes.
amazing when it first started.
But
But
for some weird reason, the
afterwards,
characters
it
get
comes
dumber
down.
and dumber and
I haven't
dumber.
watched a single episode.
Wow. Okay.
I would tell you
characters-
to watch it, but I would rather you fucking.
The characters in the series
watching,
just slowly but surely get dumber and dumber and dumber.
They do.
Yeah.
It's like, where's your fucking common sense? Join forces to find an island made entirely of candy.
Give me fucking balls and tug you, tip fucker.
I have to throw out Dawn of the Dead.
Damn it.
Okay, the Dawn of the Dead remake. That is like one of the best, like one of the last best zombie films of all fucking time.
28 days later.
Hey. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my.
Mine's really good. There's this Japanese movie.
Train to Vet.
That's the one.
That
one's
was
pretty intense.
that one's
It's
pretty
not
good.
too scary, but
I
That's the
honestly,
one.
I honestly believe that. I mean, like I say, it's
that's the
dying,
one.
but it could be getting a resurgence again because there was a movie that was based in Japan. That was a zombie film called Alive. That one was actually pretty good. It only had 2 survivors and the 2 main characters. And then it followed this character. I forget his name, but he was basically a streamer. He just streamed video games all the time, and he gets trapped in his apartment because there's zombies everywhere. So, and the power went out, and his family was out shopping, so they're dead. They're dead. But like, so
He died.
he stays alive through social media because he like takes a picture of himself with a goddamn cardboard saying his address, where he lives, what city, what town, yada yada. And he's actually keeping another person alive across the complex because through the complex there is another fucking survivor. And they become friends through that shit. And he ultimately goes try to save her, and then the military comes in. Like, I'm spoiler alert, I'm sorry, but still, it's like a fucking good movie. And
I've seen it.
It's giving me fucking
I've
hope
seen-
for the zombie franchise, but
Well,
still
Alive.
I've never
alive.
seen it.
Yeah, alive.
I've never
It's
seen
called
it.
like it starts with a hashtag though.
Yeah,
Okay.
hashtag alive.
It sounds like a really good movie. Just concept wise, it's never that's something that's not hasn't been done before. So hearing about that, especially in this day and age, that's something that I genuinely would want to see.
I've seen the trailer for
like,
it.
the way
it
he
looks
said-
really good.
The way it's on Netflix. The way
Is
he-
it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. The way
Oh, shit.
the way he stays alive is not only through like communication and everything like that with social media, but he also stays alive with a drone because he uses a drone to take like a rope from one end of the complex to the other end, so they can like swap food because they're low on food supplies and everything. So they share it to stay alive.
While fighting off zombies.
while fighting off zombies. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to say, yeah, werewolf and zombie.
Are they running zombies or are they walking?
they're
zombies?
full on running zombies.
Oh,
Like think of the
Those are
runners
like the
from-
worst ones. The worst zombies ever are the ones that run.
I'm pretty sure my dad will agree. The worst zombies that you can probably deal with are fucking clickers or bloaters.
Yeah, but that's video game wise. I'm talking movie wise.
Yeah, movie wise. Okay,
Video
movie wise.
game? Video
Movie
game
wise,
stuff.
Resident Evil zombies.
So,
Okay.
touching on the subject, since you brought up games and we won't sit on it for too long, but I would really like them to make a story, not a exact story, but off the Call of Duty Nazi zombies.
Fuck yes!
Something along those lines.
Give
where
us a
it
rip
gives-
off and all them.
Yeah, not again. It doesn't have to
I mean,
be
shit,
exactly
make it a
that.
cartoon, if anything. I mean, fuck. If
But I
they
mean,
have
those type of zombies are
I
cool.
have absolutely no connection.
to. Hell yeah. So that's my life too, bud.
Oh my god.
But like, dude, the Call of Duty zombies, that'd be fucking amazing to see. Like, eventually add like the lore with Rick Toffin and Tank and all them in there. But
even
like,
if you wanted to do like what you call it, tried and true Neurochtototem.
oh fuck.
Oh,
It's
fuck,
essentially
yeah.
it's during World War II. The Nazis are experimenting with all these gases and super soldier serums and everything. A plane crashes, and they crash into this. I don't remember exactly where it's at. Snowy biome, and getting out, they come into contact with Nazi zombies just randomly. And they just start getting horded. Well, these 4 guys end up running and holding up in this old Nazi camp, this little bunker, and it's all torn to shit. It's been left there forever, and they basically,
Origins?
no, Neurochtototem.
Oh, yeah.
World War.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
World-
And
the
they end
first
up
zombies
holding
map
it.
ever.
Yeah, they end up holding up in that thing. Well, in the lore, they actually end up dying. They just make their last stand there. But there's nothing saying that you can't do that map. Like even as an opener to a movie, have that map and they're holding up there. They can come across Nazis documents and everything, and they end up dying. And then you could do. I don't remember what fucking movie that was, but
If anything, I would like them if they did transit because they could go on that bus
Eventually,
and
well,
fucking.
even if I think of it like this, and this is for just a movie concept. So you have that intro there. These 4 Allied soldiers end up holding up here, or Russian, holding there. They end up dying. You get introduced to the zombies. Horror aspect. They just die. Endless zombies. No matter how much guns and weapons they have, they die.
Mhm.
And then after a while, it shows their corpses or whatever, and you fade in, and then comes in a Nazi platoon. And they're clearing out all the zombies, flamethrowers and all and everything, and they come across this thing and they say, well, that experiment went great. And then you're introduced to Group 935, which are the creator of the zombies. And that whole thing was an experiment. That leads the plot onto what Group 935 is about, which could lead into introducing to Maxis and Richtofen, which are kind of the 2 main Nazi scientists. That leads into, let's say, 10 years later, World War II and all this conflict starting to go to an end. The group breaks off from the Nazis as their own independent group, and then you get introduced to the other 3 main characters, which are capturees of 1 Japan, 1 Russian, and then Allied nations, which is Tank, Nikolai, and Takio. And originally it was also a Mexican, but during the experiments with Element 115,
Wasn't the Mexican going to be voiced by Machete?
I'm honestly not
Yeah.
sure. But during these experiments, they all developed side effects, and they did get, in somewhat a sense, a little soup up. The Mexican ended up dying, and then the camp, I believe, ended up getting attacked, and so they ended up busting out of there. Well, Richtofen ended up orchestrating events to essentially kill Maxis, and it ends up going awry, and zombies end up outbreaking, and it's kind of all goes to shit. So Richtofen and the other 3 end up staying together, and they end up taking this experimental teleporter, and they end up time traveling. They time travel to the future, and is basically to a different location in the future of this old Nazi camp in, I believe it's Germany, and then you're at Kino der Toten.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's there, it's all run down because this is decades in the future. It's abandoned, and it's swarming with zombies. And it basically, you can lead it off from there. I know there's a lot to throw at you.
That's why I would say they should probably
Me
make it a
too.
cartoon, if anything.
Well,
The series.
you could do it, but again, it's like anything else. It's what can you do with the amount of funding that you can get? Because biting off a big project without the proper funding to back it, you get a Hobbit, the Hobbit movies,
Hell yeah.
which essentially so you have Lord of the Rings, which were masterpieces because they had plenty of funding. Then they did the Hobbit, and for whatever reason, they didn't get the funding they needed, so half of it had to be CGI. And because it was CGI, it was garbage. So naturally, the movies flopped.
I like
There's
how they did
so many
Smoke.
great story ideas, so many great movies that have flopped because they couldn't do it properly because of the lack of money. And it's so sad.
Back to the Nazi zombie. There's actually 2 Nazi zombie films I can think of. I've only seen one. I've only seen one Nazi zombie film, and the other one I really want to fucking watch because I've yet to watch it.
I know the one that you've seen, and it's kind of garbage.
It's fucking garbage. It was a movie called Dead Snow.
Yeah.
Where
Oh, I've heard of it.
I've only heard of it.
yeah,
It's just garbage.
it's a German film. Like it's actually like they speak in German and everything, and basically it's just Nazi zombies coming out of the fucking snow because of gold or some shit like that.
Never mind. I've seen
Gold?
The trailer. I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, gold.
Gold brings the zombies out?
Yes,
What the
Nazi
fuck?
gold. It was. But then
Nazi
there's
gold?
another Nazi zombie film that actually came out, I think,
That
maybe
Markiplier meme?
5 to 10 years ago, called Overlord. That one I fucking want to watch.
I've seen it.
That one,
Bits and pieces of it.
that one looks pretty badass.
Is that a zombie entirety movie?
That's a Nazi zombie movie during World War II.
We are missing one other highlight genre.
What's that?
It's been heavy in my mind for like this whole time. Occult.
Magic
Like-
and witch and stuff?
Like Hereditary?
Yes, we're missing. We haven't touched up heavy touch up on occult. Yeah,
Oh, what was it?
and we've already brought up As Above, So Below,
Yeah.
which is a good example.
That is a
Fucking
fucking
amazing.
amazing example.
The
That one
Taking-
chick scared the shit out of me.
The Taking of Deborah Logan, I think it's called.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it.
That movie, that's another found footage film.
Yeah.
And it's essentially this family members and stuff, and they're basically staying with this old lady, Deborah Logan, that's a grandma in the family, and she was affiliated with all this cults and stuff, worshiping this thing. Well, she ends up getting possessed.
Yeah.
And this thing that they worship and they do all this magic behind it's similar to a snake. And there's a scene in there where at the very end of the film, the Deborah Logans are going missing and capturing somebody, and they go through this little tunnel where they have the cults and stuff, and they end up finding Deborah Logan, and she's basically like mutated, and her jaw is like down here, and she's slowly snake style eating this girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's like,
GIF.
oh fuck!
Such a popular GIF.
I have to thank old friend of mine, Jessica Shutters. She showed me that movie.
I want to see it so bad. Did y'all know they're remaking The Exorcist?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not know
I'm
that.
so worried.
They're remaking
So-
The Exorcist!
So worried.
They're
Although that reminds me of probably.
Let's see. We're making Exorcist. They're remaking, like you said, Candyman earlier. They're doing Hellraiser again. They're making another Scream. They're remaking Final Destination, which scares me, but I'm excited to see how fucking gory and brutal they're gonna fucking kill everyone this time. Because we already had the fucking plane crash. We already had the fucking pile up on the highway, which still scares me to this fucking day.
Look at me go!
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster, the NASCAR race, and the bridge. The NASCAR race scared the shit out of me whenever that fucking engine came out of nowhere. Just,
They're gonna run out of things to kill people with.
Mm-hmm.
I can come up with some ideas.
It's not just an ordinary rabbit.
I'm serious. Like if you give me time, I could like fucking punch in a damn good horror script,
I'm
like
not.
a full on movie script.
I'm not saying that it's not possible.
I know you're not saying that, but like still, like
It's hard. It's very hard.
Shit,
It's a lot of thinking.
there's another horror movie classic that they're remaking. I just can't remember what the fuck it was. I still believe Pumpkinhead should get fucking remade.
Yeah.
First question: which Sharknado are we on?
But like no, but back to this like the cult ones. Like Hereditary is like one of the main like one of the few cult ones that I've actually watched, and that one, holy fucking shit!
I can't even put that movie into words.
Like same, I can't.
I have not seen it.
It is like, oh, it's so damn good.
Seen it everywhere.
That movie actually gave me. I was actually that one. I looked up a lot of info and detail about that movie because I was wondering why I was feeling a certain type of way about it. Now, when I say a certain type of way, I was getting triggered.
Yeah.
Heavy because the camera angles and the soundtrack in that film, the way it was,
And then the fucking ring of light that you always like came
and
around.
the goosebumps, and then the combination of everything put together, I found myself needing to hug my male friend with me. Like, yo, dude, if I cannot like hold on to you like flesh to flesh right now, I'm going to like baby cry right now in the theater. And I was like, this is really, really, really intense. There's a side of my brain that I was like, this is so good, I have to get through this. And then there was a side of me that I was like,
Get the
I
fuck out.
want to leave right now.
Yeah.
I want to leave right now.
That's why it was so good. That's what horror movies nowadays are missing.
It needs
How-
to make you feel like that.
It needs to scare you internally somehow. And that's where it's missing. It's because we've seen all of these ideas come to fruition in the past.
So because of that,
Ah,
please watch it whenever you can.
oh, I will try to. Again, it's just
Hereditary?
it's not on a platform I can
I've
watch.
not seen it.
And then Midsommar.
I could look at it. Is it are you looking it up on HBO Max yet?
I have not. There's a lot of movies. I just got HBO Max, so I have no
Well, I
idea.
mean, I'll check it out. I will check it out later. But like, oh shit, wasn't the another cult movie that I can think of because it had a cult, and it also falls under the category of worst remakes I've ever fucking seen. Black Christmas, the one that came out recently.
Also, Krampus
That
was
was
also a
remake?
really big letdown.
Yeah, it's like that was the remake of a remake.
Yeah, I like the 2006 one.
Yeah, the 2006 one with like Mary Elizabeth, Ramona Flowers.
Yeah,
That one, I like that one.
I like that one too.
That was
one.
weird. It made me feel weird.
I don't like the new one because I think who was it?
I mean,
It wasn't me and you that went to go see it.
No, it was.
I think it was me and Lule, a buddy of mine.
I mean, the only
When we
horror.
watched it, it was so
Man.
it was so like feminist driven.
Yeah.
Like it was so male shaming in that entire plot.
Yeah.
And it's that's what makes you uncomfortable. It's like you lose interest in the plot and the story and the fact that it's all this like horror and infection and everything because it's just so pointed at that direction. It's like I don't
Which
want to
one?
see this.
Which one?
The newest one.
Okay, haven't seen it.
Yeah, I would not recommend it.
I don't
Yeah.
want to.
It's hard to sit through.
I mean, like
What's
the only movie
what's that one movie where it's a bunch of people in this building and they all get locked in, and if they don't kill a certain amount of people, then
the Belko Experiment.
yeah,
Yeah.
That one was okay. I like that.
that one wasn't bad.
Okay, cult. A cult film that I will hold dear to my heart to this day, even though it's kind of really fucked up. Society.
Oh God, I've heard of it, but I have not seen
Okay,
it.
well, basically, like,
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
like, okay, I can't really explain it in words, but like this one guy, he's like outcast by his like family. Like, I think it's like his dad or I can't remember if it was his parents or if it was his aunt and uncle.
Wow.
But they didn't like him because of how he lived his life, and they didn't like who he hung out around. But the thing is, it was kind of strongly more towards like the incest kind of horror kind of shit. And there was this giant cult that they wanted him in, where I can't remember what the fuck they called the thing, but they would basically, it was like giant orgy, but they would morph into one
What
being.
the
Like
fuck?
they would push their face on another person's face, and they would actually get like
You know what? I've heard of that.
formed
I've heard of
together.
that. I've heard of that.
It was like, what
Yes,
the
come on.
fuck?
Thank you.
It should be well lit, but just in case.
Like it was like, oh my fucking god! But it was so bad, but I couldn't look away. I was like, oh my god!
They were human centipeding without even trying to human centipede.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's harsh.
Woo!
No, give it a minute. You want to talk about like thinking, dude? Just wait. It's gonna hit here, and you're gonna start to get.
Just gonna make a thinking cap out of smoke.
Well, no, like the best way I attribute it, because you can tell by the way I talk. Huh?
What kind is it?
It's called Alamo. It's a Bridger's Black brand, but Pipe tobacco, little fun fact and stuff. I like to smoke pipes. Usually there's like a pecking order where you smoke cigarettes,
Yeah,
then
you go to
you go cigarettes, and then you go to cigars, and then you go to pipes.
which I did.
I jumped to pipes. Pipes has always been considered a thinking man's thing because it's very, very harsh and raw tobacco.
Mhm.
So you get that real gritty, unfiltered nicotine.
Yep, which I like.
My mind tends to move really fast, and it's hard to like process and think clearly. This kind of hazes down, so it's not quite like smoking marijuana where it completely, throws all this out of whack. It levels you to a point where you can sit back and really ponder stuff as they are.
Would it be like, for example, how about an ADHD person?
Well, even me, I have real bad ADHD, and I still feel the need to shake my leg and everything. But I can sit back like it literally makes me happier. It helps think. I like to do this when I'm drinking coffee in the morning because it allows me to kind of sit back, and then all the other responsibilities and bullshit kind of. It's hard to explain it.
Yeah, the combo of that just sounds great. That's why I was just thinking that the whole time. It's like sitting on this opposite end and seeing that. I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, that looks great. That really does on that side of the table.
it helps put things. It helps see things properly. It really, if you're having a hard time with thinking about something or you have way too much on your plate, I highly recommend smoking a pipe.
I am gonna get a pipe for you at some point. I'm gonna actually probably draw it out or something, or do something, graphic it out, and then I'll just send that to you. Be like,
When's your birthday?
June 24th.
Everybody's in fucking June. I swear to God.
Isn't that weird?
There's 7 close friends in June. I'm gonna have no money in June. It's you, my mom.
This little shit.
Little? Have you seen the size of me?
This big shit.
That's better.
Pebbles. I'm actually making Pebbles a pipe right now. His is a dwarven pipe. But yeah,
That's the pipe that I showed you.
Yep.
If you want to, we'll juggle back and forth. Once it starts to hit you, it'll make this conversation so much better.
Shit, I'm trying to remember more cult films.
So then there was one that was actually big for what it was, and then people forgot about it. Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh God, yes, that. Oh, yes.
I'm
I'm sorry, I love that one, bro.
A lot of people did not.
I love that one.
I did.
There was a one. Oh,
Remake.
there was a horror film I always wanted to watch, but I could never find it anywhere. It was called like A Haunting in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I own that one. Yeah.
Like to see the trailers, it scared the shit out of me growing up. Like I saw the trailers and I was like, okay, I don't want to watch
The trailer's intense. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't want to watch that because I was like a little kid. I hated horror films at the time. But now I fucking love and adore fucking horror films. I really want to fucking watch that one.
You got bullied and misunderstood and lost horror movies.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, boys.
This is about how it works.
And
It gave me ideas.
And then you have A24's The Witch. Never seen that one? The Witch was huge. Right before
Oh wait, the Witch that was the one about the
the timepiece.
Yeah. I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that.
Would y'all count American Horror Story?
We talked
We already talked about that. Yeah.
Because I know we're got on the subject of cults and stuff, so more specifically to Coven.
And then also the cult season.
I don't even talk about that one.
We don't
I didn't like that one.
I haven't seen
Why
that one yet.
power?
I haven't seen anything past Roanoke.
Okay, so I was just telling them about the whole new season I did. Have you heard about it?
I have not.
They're splitting season 10 into 2 seasons. One's going to be strictly a timepiece on water. Then there's going to be a recent story by the sea on land. Both of them 2 separate timelines connected.
Interesting.
And it's going to be vampires and mermaids.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I know, well, at least I've heard that I don't know if it's the latest season. I think it was Apocalypse. They brought all of the seasons thus far together.
They did.
And again, I haven't seen it, but that in general is just one that makes me wonder because all these characters played by the same group of actors and stuff. It's like, how do you pull that off?
It's a bit confusing,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah, so it's Murder House, Coven,
I feel like these actors are really getting sick and tired of getting brutally murdered.
Oh, touch real quick. Let's borrow on the subject of American Horror Stories, so we can go back a little bit to Aliens. What y'all think of the alien aspect to Asylum?
I liked it.
Fucking loved it.
I haven't seen it.
So essentially, there's a character in there that it's the main character that he's living happily with his wife and he has a child, and basically he gets abducted by aliens, and then when he comes back, he doesn't remember much of anything, and both his wife and his kid are murdered, and then he ends up getting convicted for it.
In the asylum.
And then he gets, it leads him to the asylum, and it's fucking weird. It's essentially. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but you need to watch it. It's on Netflix, I think, still, right?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
All right, cool.
Really good. I'd give it a watch. All of them, honestly, really. So, what are y'all's favorite season of American Horror Story?
Hotel.
Freak show.
Freak show.
I think my favorite is Coven. Really, really close second is Murder House.
Close second for me is Hotel.
Close second for me is Roanoke. No. Apocalypse.
My parents didn't really care for Roanoke because it started slow.
It
It
did.
took a while to get it going.
It did.
I liked the hope. I liked what they were trying to do. That last found footage, half of it though, kind of tripped me out.
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know. Are we missing other genres?
Should wrote this down.
I was, but I kind of got distracted.
By who? Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Once you get me on a show, I have to
we watched
fucking
like
finish
5
it.
episodes before we started.
I love this. Oh, there's the large. Yeah. I love this episode.
But like,
Valentine's Day, I believe.
You know what? What time or what year? Because I do have a number in my head. Do y'all think horror started to really go down?
Go
go
down.
down.
Yeah.
2005.
2010 is mine.
2009, 2010, or in between that time.
Just before 2010.
Because
When
like
did It come out? The remake?
the remake of It came
So
out in
2016,
2016, 17.
17?
But that's the exception, though.
That's the exception, yeah, because that's whenever it started. Like some of the horror movies are starting to like build
Well,
back
it
up.
was one of those. Like,
Yeah.
I think in every year spread out, there's always going to be like one that just knocks it out of the park. But
Yeah.
back in the 80s, 90s, and then early 2000s, it was a pretty consistent trend of like good horror movies being thrown out.
In the early 2000s,
Yeah.
majority of it was just like American remakes of Japanese films. Like you had The Grudge, you had The Ring, you had I think there was like an American version of Bride with White Hair.
Yeah.
So like it was like early 2000s was remakes, even though we thought they were originals.
Yeah.
And then you had like some other weird ones that came out, like The Village and Signs.
The Village. That's another psychological horror.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen it,
That's one of my.
I have
favorites.
not. I've heard of
Okay,
it.
That's
cool.
one of my favorites.
It's
I've heard of it.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan film, and if
Mhm.
you know anything about M. Night Shyamalan, he's the
What's the twist?
So
Until he fucked up fucking Last Airbender.
it basically takes place around 1800s, and it's this
Whoa,
old
you think
village.
it takes
Shut up. It's basically 1800s village, right? It's all like pilgrimage and everything, and they even go back even further. But long and the short is that the village is plagued by this creature, and so they have to make sacrifices to this creature, so it basically doesn't kill them. So they have this little council of these elders. Well, long and the short, somebody of this girl, she's blind, and she's the daughter of one of these elders. Basically gets really, really hurt, and he's about to die, and she doesn't want him to die. So they take a gamble because she's blind. They basically tell her which direction to go in, and basically say there's a neighboring village that has more medicine and supplies. You need to go to them, ask for this medicine, and then come back. And you really, really hope you don't run into this creature. So she ends up doing that, and this creature attacks her. And she barely manages to escape, but she makes it to the neighboring village.
Mhm.
The twist is when she comes upon this neighboring village, it's a modern day
Today's society
little forest watch, like a little reservation security guard.
Mhm.
And you basically like, where did you come from? Like, this is protected land. You shouldn't be here. And she asked for the medicine, and they give it to her, and they send her on her way. And then she makes it back to the village and everything. And then you find out that the elders are actually modern day people. They're very successful, and they have all this money. Well, they collected together because they've all had serious losses and other societal bullshit.
traumatic background stories.
Traumatic background stories. So they banded together with all this money and basically bought out like hundreds of acres of this land. And all these little people, they brought them to this village and they started over and they moved the technology. They essentially jumped back a few centuries and started a village to sort of save society.
And made laws to keep them out.
Yeah. And so this villain, this creature that's been plaguing them is actually just a costume. And the person that attacked her was actually this autistic boy that was there that injured the boy that she was infatuated with.
Mhm.
And he ends up falling and like breaking his back and everything.
And the whole thing is very love story based.
But it's the whole time you think it's an actual monster in this time period. So when you come across this modern day and it's revealed, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
You never would have saw it coming.
it's worth it.
Oh, no.
It's a beautiful movie. Beautiful music. Jesus Christ.
And
Beautiful
Is
sound.
that still on Netflix?
Maybe
Because I watched it on Netflix, but I don't know if it's still on there.
we'll check in a little bit. But like another, like he has a lot of hit and miss horror films.
Yeah.
I mean, like a hit was fucking Signs, fucking Sixth Sense, and then the misses were like The Fucking Happening.
I liked that happening. I thought that was very original.
It was original, but like they could have like maybe made it more impactful a little bit.
What do you think about Devil?
I love Devil. That was like I didn't see that shit coming. Fuck. That was
I still haven't seen Glass.
That's another psychological horror.
No,
You've seen Split though, right?
I haven't. I
Okay.
haven't.
So you have to watch Split before you watch Glass.
So have you seen
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable?
Yes.
So Split introduces you to that's Michael also, right? His name's Michael? What's the dude's name?
The Split personality guy.
Or the main dude. Is his real name, not his personalities.
Kevin Wendell.
Kevin. So you have Kevin, and this is his dude, and he suffers from split personalities on a massive scale.
23 different persons.
Yeah. I've heard about it. I heard all about it.
And it not only does he switch between different personalities, but he even physically changes to accommodate those personalities,
I know
both
that too.
male and female, and etc. So one personality is like a pedophile. And so the whole Split essentially takes place with these three girls. They're hanging out, and this dude gets into their car and basically kidnaps them, chloroforms them, takes them to this house, and locks them up. Well, as it goes on, he switches personalities and then interacts with the three girls. And essentially, they're all of these personalities are bringing these girls to feed the beast, which is this personality that hasn't come to fruition yet, but it's like they see him as this biblical figure to bring like order through chaos.
Which I heard that one had a lot of strength and power to him.
Yeah, he literally
He can climb fucking
he
smooth surfaces.
Yeah, he's literally like a monster.
He's a
And-
monster. He runs on
He
all
can
fucking
take a
fours.
shotgun blast point blank
Yeah,
on
like
the chest
he's
and
a
walk.
superhero essentially, but he himself, the beast, runs on the idea that the damaged and the broken individuals are evolved, and that's the world. All the individuals that haven't been through that need to die and be filtered out. That only the broken can rule. Only the broken are strong.
Oof.
And again, another spoiler alert here.
So what does that have to do with Glass?
So, at the end of Split, the main girl that you follow is the only one that survives, and she gets to the end right at this little cage and locks herself in there, and the beast is like right at the door, and he bends these bars, these stainless steel bars open, and beforehand he had snatched and ripped this girl's shirt up, And so he's sitting over there with the gun and stuff, and he sees that she has these cuts and shit over there. She's been abused, she's been raped, she has cigarette burns and everything. She's been fucked up, and he sees that, and that's when he goes like, "Rejoice, the broken or the more evolved creatures," and so she's safe, and so he leaves.
And then like news covers her tragic story, and she's like, there's like sitting at some diner. And they're like, this is kind of reminding me of a story in the past, like a train accident.
Which leads back to Unbreakable. It's in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
So Glass takes place in a psychiatric hospital. So Kevin has been captured and implemented there along with Samuel L. Jackson's character and Bruce Willis' character, because obviously they all think they're superheroes.
I saw that.
Which they do. And so, more or less, Glass, the Samuel L. Jackson's character, convinces the Beast to essentially fight Bruce Willis's character, as in like a superhero thing. That he
superhero fight the bad guy.
He needs to beat this creature to show the world, to basically this big display to the world of not only what he's capable of, but what the pecking order needs to be. Go with his own philosophy.
Please don't spoil this one for me.
I'm not.
As a movie buff in here, this is something I'm like.
It's interesting. It's awesome. So, more or less, it goes in that direction. And please, when you do watch it, enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But it's essentially bringing Split and Unbreakable together in this big finale. It's great.
Okay, so then I'm really just gonna have to, because I know I've heard all about Split. I'm just gonna have to actually fucking watch it.
Yeah, honestly, it's quite.
It took me a while to watch it too, but when I watched it, it was so fucking.
It's suspenseful. I like it because, well, right off the bat, the actor that plays Kevin.
Is that all three of them?
No, it's just that one.
Phenomenal.
James McAvoy. He's an amazing underrated actor.
So in Split, James McAvoy plays all these personalities, and he does a great job at doing it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he hasn't got an Oscar for that shit pisses me the fuck off.
And it's really, really, really suspenseful. Like, it really hits you at your core. And it really keeps you, like, in it.
Yeah.
Is that Sarah Paulson?
Yes. She plays a psychiatric doctor.
It really is like one of my favorite movies. Like, everyone I've shown that movie to, they're like, "What the fuck did you show me?" I'm like, "A good film? I can show you a good film."
If you can manage it, try to watch them in order: Unbreakable, Split, and then Glass.
Okay, I remember Unbreakable very vividly. I cannot not remember M. Night Shyamalan's early films. Just that they're so.
That was like Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Signs. Village. And then you have very randomly Lady in the Awa. Water. That one was like, what? Right after Village.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got like you said, then you got Happening, and then you got fucking Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, we could just
throw that out the fucking window.
Use that and
you can light it on fire and then throw it out the window.
I mean, like Zuko,
in a trash
he was
can.
alright, but like everything else was like, what the fuck?
No,
That's not how you say "ang." It's not It's fucking "ang."
Well, it's
Also, where's his fucking monkey, lemur?
Momo.
Where's fucking Momo? Thank you.
It's out of that. That's right off the bat. In general, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated series, is perfect.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, people have dissected that show down to a T. Everything in itself is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning, the progression, the interactions, the relationships, the ideas and moral aspects behind it, and then the eventual climax. Perfect. You can't not love Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's impossible.
I'm probably the only one that hasn't seen the animated version. All my friends have.
You need to
watch it.
Good God.
You're missing out.
You seriously.
Good God.
You are missing out.
Like,
Let's put the boy back in the straitjacket. like if you say anything bad about it, he will hurt you.
you can't not love it.
He almost
Like,
hurt me one time. Was I saying?
Should see what happened when I fucking watched Rocky for the first time. I was
Oh.
like, oh man, I love a wrestling movie. And
Wrestling movie.
it went, Jackson!
Like, no,
Rocky Horror, right?
no,
Rocky
Rocky
Balboa.
boxing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Rocky Horror is a fucking amazing film.
It's a good film, yeah.
I know a couple people who will not watch it just because of Dr. Frankenfurter.
It's an essential musical.
Yes,
If you're into musicals.
Yes.
Just like Xanadu.
Oh, speaking of musical and horror, Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
The Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I got the DVD with Johnny Depp. I got a fucking app, which I'm going to put on my PlayStation sometime soon, where it's the actual like original Broadway production stuff, and they actually have the Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Check this
I
out.
tell you, if that were a thing, if there was ever a chance, I would like to audition to be in that. I really would love to.
This is what's interesting about that a lot of people don't know. So have they all seen Nanny McPhee?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Have y'all seen the live action Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so do you know the actress that is the teapot? She turns into
Mhm.
that actress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That actress started on musicals. She was I don't want to say the original Mrs. Lovett, but she has played on a big stage theatrical musical of Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
And she was
plays
Mrs.
Lovett.
Hey.
And it's actually cool how they do it. What you call it? During the opening scene where it's like, oh, a customer, and then it's the worst pies in London.
Yeah.
Mm.
When she's making the bread on stage and she's beating the
Dope.
rolling pin and stuff. Underneath it, you don't even realize it, but the table that they've set up, there's a cutout there, and it has one of those big bass drums. So when she's beating the dough, it's the bonk, da da da, bonk, da da da, da 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 da, bonk.
That's cool.
Oh, I love it.
That's cool.
I've seen that one as well.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I don't think there's anything else out there, right? Not musical horror, right?
Repo Man.
Oh,
I've not seen that.
That one's a fucking like. I had some high doubts because just the idea of that. I'm like, okay, futuristic landscape. You have organs for transplant. And you have
Very
to pay
industrial.
payments, and if you don't make payments, there will be a repo man who will kill you to get that fucking organ back.
It's interesting.
And it's like all like rock, metal, like gothic kind of.
I have not
shit.
seen that. That sounds
Industrial.
awesome.
One of the musicians on there, or one of the singers on there, which I'm not a fan of because her voice was like to me, but still have to respect the fact that she was on there. Paris
Paris
Hilton.
Hilton.
She's in there.
There's actually another one called The
Does she
Devil's
die?
Carnival.
Yes. But
I have not seen that. Did she die?
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
I have not seen that one, but the one you just said.
Either one of those?
Another one, yeah.
Oh, they're good.
Oh, Repo Man is like seriously one of my favorite underrated musicals of all time.
You mean
Like,
the list?
It's like, oh.
Oh, you mean add it to the list?
Yeah, we gotta add that. to
You
the
mean
list.
add it to the list?
We have a
I don't
list
think
of
I
movies
need-
that he has not seen,
My
like, at all.
list is bigger than this fucking table.
He's like, for instance, he's never seen Explorers.
Yeah.
Or
what again? Huh?
Explorers.
What is that?
Hell yeah! You're on my boat, brother.
Okay, fine.
That's
Pitch
a
Black.
classic.
Okay, Pitch Black. The first Riddick film.
What is that?
Hell yeah, brother!
It's fine. It's fine. I know we give you a lot of shit about it, but you'll eventually watch them. They're just like
He's borrowing it and he still hasn't fucking watched
Because
it.
me and Alyssa are gonna watch it together.
yeah. Good luck getting that happen.
Oh,
She's been stuck on Jutsu Kaisen for. She just finished.
get
it,
the
like,
fuck
yesterday.
up of Jujutsu Kaisen! Watch the damn movie! I want my movies back! God damn it. Let's see, fuck. Okay.
Oh, geez, turn your font size down.
Yeah.
What are you, Brand?
Yes, I am. Blair.
Okay, let's see. He's never seen Constantine.
It's good.
I've seen Constantine.
You've seen Constantine?
I showed him recently.
Okay, so I'm not.
No, I've seen Constantine before, but I never watched it fully through.
Yeah,
And then-
so you haven't seen it.
Okay.
Watching bits and pieces don't count.
Okay, let's see. Okay, horror movie wise,
Remind me of the
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
think I just watched that recently.
Salma Hayek. You're borrowing that movie as well.
Yeah, that's.
Salma Hayek. Trust me, you'd remember. It's Salma Hayek with the snake. Vampires. It's
It's unforgettable.
Yeah.
So who made From Dusk Till Dawn again?
Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I find that so funny because Quentin Tarantino has his own style that I had no meaning to the subject of that man's work. But that's so conversation.
Have you seen his newest one, which was
I just said we're not going to get into the conversation of
I'm sorry. He's just a good director. I'm sorry. I love his movies.
He needs to make.
That's what I'm saying. And when I heard
He
about
said,
once I heard about Charles Manson and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I got kind of excited.
That's what I was talking
And that's what I was like, okay, Charles Manson, Quentin Tarantino, the murders, okay, this could possibly end up being a little bit darker. And it was like, oh, okay.
I still have not
I
watched-
believe
I
he's
still have
now.
not watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's so good.
I'm
You
afraid
haven't
to.
seen it?
I have not watched it yet.
It's
Okay.
really,
I
really
want to.
good.
I'm afraid to.
Why?
Just try it out. Just try it out.
Well, he doesn't want to watch it because he heard that they fucking
They
Like-
dogged on Bruce Lee, man.
dog on Bruce Lee.
They do it all on Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Pisses me
Is
Is
off,
it a
dude.
funny way or is it like
It's a funny way.
Funny. This to make Bruce Lee out to be a bitch.
No, they made
He
him
ain't.
out. They made him out to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking dick move because from what I understand, he's like one of the sweetest hearts of all fucking time.
Yeah. Well, he was definitely he was definitely like cocky
It's funny as shit.
like that. But
It
I
is.
mean, it came with the territory. He
Okay.
could probably whoop anyone's ass.
I still need to get him to finish watching The Crow.
True.
The Crow, great movie.
So
he hasn't seen it.
Like he's seen up to a bit. I think he's
one
seen up
time
to where
when I was a little boy.
yeah.
When I was
Yeah,
little
yeah.
boy.
Yes.
Dude, The Crow. You'd be all over The Crow, dude.
I
I
loved everything about it.
re-showed him that like a while back.
Yeah.
Like whenever me, Marissa, and him were here,
Can't wait for them to redo Spawn.
I showed him I think he got.
Jamie
I think he left
motherfucking
around
Foxx.
the time where the car blew up and he just made that fucking crow out of the flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he last left.
I was like, these
I really
that
hope Jamie
soundtrack,
Foxx does a
though.
good.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
Jamie
soundtrack's
Foxx.
awesome.
I think Jamie Foxx will do a good job.
And the
being
sad
Spawn.
part that Brandon Lee, ironically, which is Bruce Lee's son, who plays the main character in the
Yeah,
he died during this movie.
I've heard.
I can show you exactly the scene
where he
where
does.
they kept the original footage where you see Brandon Lee actually getting shot up.
Why
It's dark.
Everyone gets that one confused. Everyone says it's that scene. No, it's not that fucking scene. It's the scene where like fucking he was doing the flashbacks of the fucking what do you call it? The flashbacks of witnessing his girlfriend get murdered. No, that's the scene where he died.
Yeah.
Everyone confuses that scene and the scene where like he's just sitting on the fucking table like I just want him, and he gets shot up.
Yeah.
That's where everyone thinks he dies.
Well, yeah, that's a common misconception, but no.
The scene where he's like fucking. That's where he gets shot.
I know my shit, damn it.
No,
Yeah,
you
because
do.
first off,
Do I look
nobody,
like, do I look like
nobody
everybody?
pays attention to the physics. Like the dude standing up while he's getting shot the fuck up, he would have immediately just dropped.
He would have just dropped. He would have gone.
He wouldn't have taken the blows and then dropped. He would have immediately just.
He would have fucking like, oh shit.
You know what I'm surprised that we haven't brought up or talked about?
What's that?
The suspicions and curses of horror history.
The curse behind the fucking Crow film.
Candyman,
There's a certain.
Candyman.
There's this. What's that?
Poltergeist.
Oh fucking hell.
What's the play that killed John Candy and then a lot of them? There was this. it's a
John
cursed
Candy,
play.
and then John Belushi,
Yeah.
and then
It's a play
Chris
that nobody
Farley.
can do because anybody who takes the lead role dies.
What is it? What is it?
I can't remember
I
the name.
can't remember that one either.
But it's a cursed play. Anybody who has the main role dies.
Yeah,
Like John Candy
was
got
John
the main
Belushi-
role,
It was,
died.
it was John Belushi first. He died.
Mhm.
With drug overdose, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then it was John Candy who died because I forgot what he died from.
Heart attack.
Yeah,
Heart
yeah,
attack. And then they said, all right, let's get Chris Farley. Chris Farley was doing that, which was at the same time he was also doing shit for Shrek.
Yep.
He was supposed to be the original
He
Shrek.
was going to be originally the Shrek.
And but then he died of fucking drug overdose.
So is this a film?
It's a
No, no one has
A play.
ever.
No one has ever done it.
No one's ever.
There's only been one shooting of that play, and that was the first and last time anybody's ever done that play. Because everybody else who has tried to do it, the lead actor dies.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Why is that type?
Nobody knows.
Who fucking knows, man?
No one knows.
What is it about that character?
Mhm.
I
I can't even remember the name.
We know Jack Diddley squat about it. That's all we know.
Like a lot of people, yeah,
I thought it was a movie.
it's an actual play. I don't think it's a movie. I'm pretty
No,
sure
I
it's a
thought,
play.
no, I thought it was a movie.
Is it?
I thought it was a movie. Oh fuck. Shit.
Yeah, it's a cursed. It's a cursed role.
You know what the play's about?
Nope.
No one knows what the fucking play's about because no one
Nobody,
ever fucking
because nobody has ever done
fucking
it.
with
Nobody has ever done it again. Is what I'm saying. There's only been that one play, the first and last of that whole play. Then anybody else who has ever tried to do it dies.
Oh, that's got me so curious.
I want to figure out what the hell.
It's
that
almost like Freak. We barely broke our curse.
is. In
our
we
school-
barely broke that.
In our school, our director, Mr. Smith, did a play called Freak, which is about a bunch. Have you ever seen it or ever heard about it?
The movie?
No, the play.
Oh, the play. No.
It's about this girl who's about to kill herself, and then she gets stopped, and then ends up going to this underworld circus type thing,
Basically,
where they have the
The
ringleader is basically the devil.
Atuk.
Yes, that's what it was.
The incomparable Atuk.
And it has killed 6 actors.
6. Who are the other fucking?
6 actors.
Oh yeah, I got no reception.
But it's about this chick who ends up going to the underworld, and there's this ringleader who's later you basically find out it and already know is the fucking devil. And he's like, welcome to the circus, welcome to the freak show. She's like, what do you mean? Because she has this birth defect that has a birthmark on her face that makes her look weird, and she gets bullied for it. And she ends up finding out there's these bunch of teenagers around her that are also in the freak show. You got the snake lady, you got the tattoo man, you got the cat lady, you got Esmeralda, who is like the fortune teller, shit like that. Got a bearded lady, all kinds of shit. And you got a really fat chick. It's a bunch of crazy shit. You later find out that they've all committed suicide and came here. And the devil is trying to convince her to jump out that window to kill herself. This is her epiphany. This is what basically it shows her in the play what happens when you die. If you die, you're staying in this freak show. And she chooses not to, which saves her. And it's really fucking creepy, really scary. It's like my favorite play I've ever done, ever. We barely managed to pull it off because it is cursed, because he did it once, and then he tried to do it 8 times afterwards. And then always something came up. Someone got sick. The lead actor got sick. There was a car accident. Someone got hurt really bad. And then for us, it was me and Clayton trying to go pick up Matthew because he was Benny the Bat Boy. And we ended up getting the truck stuck in a mud field. And we were at the wrong destination anyway.
Phil Hartman.
Which was an hour and a half away from Tidehaven.
So when you said you just broke off your curse, what do you mean?
We barely managed to get there. We had 15 minutes for me to get in costume and Clayton to get in costume to do this play.
Oh, was it Freak?
Yeah.
Did they talk about Freak?
Yep.
Which, oh my God, I honestly still to this day think that this was their best performance.
It was so good.
Best show that they.
It was so good. We start off. It's super creepy. It starts off without the girl. You don't ever see the girl or anything. It's this curtain. It's pitch black, and all of a sudden you hear quietly from the very back of the hallway circus music and little hints of laughter.
There's footage
And then-
about it on YouTube right now.
Nope.
I really wish I would have recorded.
I wanted to record it so bad, but but it ends up going da 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 da, and it gets louder. And then you have the ringleaders like, ladies and gentlemen, come see what your eyes will not believe. And then all of a sudden it's like, it gets creepier. It gets louder. You can hear us laughing and we get louder and louder and louder. And it's like, welcome to the freak show. And then the whole lights turn red. We got a smoke machine coming from underneath the thing. And we start crawling and ripping out of the curtains. Like the curtains aren't even open. We start ripping and crawling out in contortioned ways like we're demons and shit. We even have people from behind who nobody knew they were there just fucking come down. And we're all just crawling, going within the crowd, looking at them, creeping them the fuck out to high hell. We're touching them. We're dancing and shit. We're laughing demonically. It's awesome.
Damn it, I missed the.
That was a...
It gets even worse because after all that, basically then it goes pitch black again.
Goes pitch black, and then all of a sudden we're back on the
Right
stage.
on the little staircase, there's no lights. All of a sudden you hear click, and it's a flashlight. All the cast members in the front, the main people have flashlights, and so all you see is flashlights on their face, and they go click, and then they say their part, Flashlight goes off. Another part of the stage, another flashlight clicks on. It's another one, and basically they introduce themselves and say that opening monologue, and then
they're like, "What do you see?" We all scream, "Freak!" And we all make fun of her.
And then
and
the
shit.
lights fade in, and then you come into the ringleader and all this other shit. It's
So
so
the ringleader is like this demonic, insane type dude who's basically the devil, who's trying to convince her to join the.
No.
Nope, no one recorded it.
That was
Micah was the maniacal Max. That was the ringleader's name.
Yeah,
he was Damien.
I thought you were the devilish creature.
Nope.
You were the
No, I was Damien.
He was Damien. He was the scary, intimidating magician who ends up dying from a cop shootout because he ends up shooting up the school.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Which I find funny because a lot of people thought I was going to be a school shooter.
Mm-hmm. Like it's cool because he had his vest on the whole time, but whenever it's his turn to show what he actually did and how he died,
Like I took off my
he
jacket
takes his vest off and he had bullet holes everywhere.
I had a white
coming up.
button-up shirt with like the blood stains and everything.
It was awesome. Like nobody knew who he was, and then all of a sudden he pulls out a fucking gun. Just, are you afraid? He cocks a gun. You should be. And then he just cuts off, and then he goes to another person. It's awesome.
Well, this is really teasing me.
It's so good. It is my favorite play everywhere of all fucking time. Van Vliet redid it, which was, in my opinion, 10 times fucking greater, except for Maniacal Max. Silas did a terrible job at being Maniacal Max. But Catherine beat the shit out of Emily with her snake lady because Emily played Sissy, the snake lady. And in Van Vliet's version, Catherine was the snake lady. And she was a contortionist. And she did backflips. She walked on her hands.
Who was
She just handstand walking around, dancing and singing and becoming insane. She was slithering under the stage and going through everywhere and fucking with everyone. That was Catherine's job, and it was awesome.
That's his girlfriend, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
who was Damien in the Van Vliet performance?
Daniel, the Van Vliet version of me.
Oh, hey, that's not bad.
Let me see, because I have a picture of her in her costume.
I was a part of none of this, by the way.
You were just a bystander.
Yeah, I got to watch the show. I'm glad that I was there to watch the show.
Meanwhile, they are doing redoing the badass version of Freak. Me and my class are stuck with a dumbass director doing fucking Narnia.
Well, bastard.
I fucking hated my life.
I was proud of. Well, I was a part of Horse Girls.
Horse Girls was good.
Horse Girls was amazing.
It was like it gave you the vibe of Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was weird, but it was good weird.
It's essentially it was a cast of 6 girls, and they're all playing like around the ages of 12 and 13, little girls, and they're like the rich daughter girls, and they're horse girls. You know, they have the get ups and they ride horses, and they're part of the club, the big club type bullshit. And
that was her costume. She had scales everywhere, even on her face and stuff. She had scaly lipstick, fucking somewhat of a tutu, and then just contortioned and slithered around the whole fucking stage. Just scales everywhere, even on her arms, but she put her sleeves up.
Yeah, more or less, due to like jealousy and all this other shit, this few of these girls start to like lose their mind and kill some of the other girls, and it's crazy. It's
like they kill a chick with a fucking horse statue.
Yeah, literally make
like a trophy.
Like see like another play like right away.
That's so good. I want to redo Freak. Mr. Smith is thinking about doing it for cast. I'm going,
dude. I'm
going.
As soon as he does,
the second he releases auditions, I'm gone.
You better fucking let me know.
I'm gone.
Really?
Yeah, he's thinking about redoing it at Bay City, the auditorium that's for cast. He's thinking about redoing Freak again.
Audition for that.
I'm going to be there. You could be the tattoo man.
I would love to be in that.
You could be the tattoo. You already have the tattoo.
Let me fucking know because I want to be either Damien or try and do my best Maniacal Max.
I'm either gonna go for Damien, Maniacal Max, or I'm fucking
bring it on.
What's his name?
What's our time?
Oh shit!
Oops.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to cut this off now.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. No,
I was about to say we got a lot of.
We have ribs at home or steaks. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so we did talk about horror for a good chunk of while. This ain't gonna be the last time we talk about horror. I'm telling you that right now. Thanks for watching. Brett, Jacob, first time participant, and hopefully we'll be here in the future again. Michael.
Yep.
Yeah.
And speaking of horror films, guys, if y'all want to look out, just throwing this out there too. If y'all do want to check out some really cool like indie short horror films, go to my channel, Michael Rodriguez. My channel is the type of channel you can't just type in my name. You have to type in my name plus a name of one of my films. So if I were to start anybody off to check out anything that's on my channel, type in Michael Rodriguez.
He'll put a link in the description.
The Night Terrors.
Right there. Not a problem. I'll whenever I get done editing this later, I will put a link in the subscription.
Thank you.
No problem. All right.
Bye bye.
What do you think? Okay, fucking Mark Clark, calm the fuck down. All right. See you later. You bunch of bitches.
That's right.
Whew.